suddenly transmigrated to in this driver's seat of bus number 1520, feeling disoriented, my head heavy and my thoughts slow. I turned to look and found the entire bus filled with my female classmates in major early childhood education at Shenzhen University. I leaned in my seat, a little stunned. Including myself and the class committee member, we were exactly 42 people. A crisp mechanical voice filled the cabin. It introduced itself as Heavenly Dao and congratulated everyone on arriving in the all-people transit survival world. It listed a set of survival rules and told us to read them ourselves. It mentioned it wasn't going to read them aloud since we probably wouldn't remember anyway. After everyone finished reading the rules, I stood up and looked around. The interior of the bus was bare and simple. I addressed the class president and class committee member, pointing out that it seemed we had crossed over into another world. Based on the announcements, each organization received one bus, which meant all 41 girls and I from our class were together in this one vehicle. The system voice returned to announce the bus driver selection. It said that in 3 seconds the driver would be determined based on each person's silent vote. 3 seconds later, I was chosen without any surprise. The system confirmed my role. Congratulations, I had become the bus driver and would receive special driver privileges and rewards. The class president cheered and said it was good to have me leading them. A new announcement followed. I had obtained the talent ST Daily Sign-In. It told me I would automatically sign in each day, receiving 2 to 5 options to choose from. For day 1, the options were 100 bottles of 500 milliliter Yibao mineral water, or 2 20-liter barrels of water. I selected the 100 bottles without hesitation, and the items appeared directly in my backpack. The backpack currently had 10 slots, and each slot could hold up to 100 identical items, perfect for fitting all the bottles. Around the same time, several female classmates began calling out excitedly. One announced she had received an S-rank talent called Divine Prompt, which could let her sense information about items and players, detect nearby resources, and warn of dangers. Another announced she had an S-rank talent called Super Constitution. Her starting constitution was 10 times that of an ordinary person, and would continue increasing at a 10-fold rate. Everyone began buzzing with questions about what constitution even meant, until someone pointed out the game panel visible in the upper left corner of everyone's vision. Clicking it opened a personal attribute page. I hurried to open my own panel. Unlike the others, mine had 2 extra tabs, the trading market and the bus panel. Out of curiosity, I tapped the chat channel and looked around. Then I opened my attribute panel and announced my talent to the group. A rank healing arts. If anyone was injured, I could treat them. After we tallied everything, we had 3 S-rank talents, 1 A rank and 2 B ranks. Not bad at all. The class committee member reminded everyone not to let their guard down just because they had some strong abilities. I didn't linger long on the conversation. I returned to the driver's seat and started the bus. Outside the windows stretched an endless expanse of yellow sand on both sides, with a perfectly straight road running ahead. The system chimed. Bus 1520 had started, and monsters would begin chasing us in 24 hours. I ran the numbers in my head. If we drove 14 hours per day, that was 280 kilometers. Monsters could cover 240 kilometers in a day. That gave us a 40-kilometer lead each day if we kept a schedule. After about 2 hours of driving, a new system announcement played in my ear. We were about to arrive at a station called the Peace Convenience Store. I leaned around and asked Lin Chunan about the station information. She gave me a small OK gesture, closed her eyes, and began processing her talent's output. When she opened her eyes, there was fear in them. She said the station was dangerous. It contained 2 stagger-type zombies. Immediately, the bus erupted with noise. Anxious looks and nervous chatter spread through the cabin. I told everyone we had no choice but to go. The supplies inside the store were essential, and we couldn't afford to skip them. Huang Ting immediately shot back that it was easy for me to say, and suggested I go handle the 2 zombies myself, before anyone else went down. She said I was the only male, so it was my responsibility to protect them. Lin Chuan cut her off sharply, asking what she thought she was saying and whether she wanted me to die. Huang Ting doubled down, arguing we couldn't send a group of frail girls to fight zombies either. I told them to stop and proposed a fair system. Those who went down first would get to pick supplies first. I asked for volunteers. 4 girls raised their hands immediately. Li Ruoyao said she was going since she had an S-rank talent and couldn't afford to let it go to waste, and she wasn't going to free ride. Lu Xiaofang and Lu Xiaowing also volunteered, along with Lin Chionen, who started to speak, but I stopped her. I told her she had already helped by providing the station intelligence, so she could wait until after we cleared the danger. Lu Xiaofang's face went through a complicated set of emotions at my words. In the end, 4 more girls volunteered, bringing the total to 8. I nodded and led them off the bus. Inside the convenience store, 2 zombies immediately lunged toward the group. Lu Xiaofang was at the front and took the brunt of the first attack, but her super constitution held. She shouted for everyone to fight together and help kill the 2 zombies. In the chaos and close-quarters struggle that followed, the group worked together, and the 2 zombies were brought down. During the fight, I noticed Lu Xiaofang had been hit hard. I activated healing arts, and the glow of the skill washed over her wounds. Lu Xiaofang stared at herself, then at me, her face cycling through shock and embarrassment as she realized she was not dead. She helped herself back up and then, ears red, told me quietly that she had always wanted to say something to me. She said she liked me. I helped steady her on her feet and thanked her for her feelings, awkwardly and gently. Everyone moved on to looting the store. I headed straight for the beverage section, picking out water, cola, Sprite, iced tea, and anything else useful. Then I noticed a sneaking figure at the doorway. It was Huang Ting, slipping in while it was still our turn. I called her out and told her the class president had said the first group finished first and got first pick. She complained there was plenty left and what was the big deal. I walked her to the door and told her to come back after we were done. Huang Ting glared at us with poison in her eyes but had no choice. She went back to the bus grumbling. After our group finished collecting, I called down to the rest of the class and told them the store was cleared and about half the supplies remained. Huang Ting came flying out immediately and rushed into the store. Li Royao asked what I had taken. We compared notes. She had mostly grabbed food, while I had mostly taken water. Perfect compliment. We agreed to trade and share. Then Lin Chuan pointed something out to me. She had noticed the shelves and storage racks inside the store were upgrade materials for the bus. She suggested not leaving those behind. We quickly grabbed them and brought them back. On the bus, I asked everyone if we had enough materials. I told them I wanted to upgrade the bus. I went ahead and triggered the upgrade sequence. The next moment, the bus expanded with a burst of golden light. The interior grew noticeably larger. The gaps between seats widened, and 2 new rows appeared at the back. The system congratulated me. Bus upgraded to level 2. I had obtained a library and a large water condenser, plus the commerce module and function unlocks. The large water problem was mostly solved. The system made a global broadcast. Jiang Xiaoqian was the first driver in Region 6 to upgrade their bus. I was rewarded with a random skill and 5 attribute points. The skill turned out to be something called Zero Function. I wasn't sure of its exact use yet, but I noted it down. As the sun set, the dusk announcement came. Night was falling and fog was rising. All drivers were warned to proceed carefully. I muttered to myself about what that meant exactly, and then a zombie lurched into the headlights. I swerved. Monsters outside the windows began multiplying. They ranged from scattered stragglers to clusters of shambling bodies. I could see immediately that these were not normal zombies. They had varying quality levels, and there were many of them. The class committee member came forward and said it looked like night driving was going to be necessary. I noted that only I had full driving rights, but I could share temporary permissions with others. I went into the bus panel and shared driving access with Li Ruoyao, Lin Chuanan, Zhang Keke, Lu Xiaofang, and Lu Xiaoying. The bus's durability dropped as zombies occasionally struck the sides. The system told me I could repair it using ordinary iron nails, wood, or leather at the rate of 1 point of durability per iron nail or wood piece, or 5 pieces of leather per point. I made a mental note. Basic resources were more critical than I had thought. I opened the chat channel to see how other buses were doing. People were posting about zombies everywhere, terrifying encounters, and dropping durability. One person mentioned an abandoned factory nearby had yielded hundreds of iron nails. I put a note in the chat asking everyone to stop before the engine shut down at around 6:50 a.m., reminding them of the shutdown rules and how to handle it safely. Then I fell asleep in the seat. When the second day sign-in woke me, I was given options. Expand backpack from 10 to 50 slots, or take a set of McJoy biscuits, 200 pieces. I chose the backpack expansion without hesitation. 50 slots was far more valuable. At 6:50 a.m., Zhang Keke, who had been driving the overnight shift, brought the bus to a stop as instructed. The engine shutdown began. The bus interior went dark. Outside it was bitterly cold. Most of the girls gathered together for warmth. Li Royao called me over to join them, saying we could all share body heat. Huang Ting immediately protested, saying it was strange for a male to join them. Li Ruoyao told her to stop being ridiculous and invited me again. I joined the huddle, which made Huang Ting stew in obvious resentment, while everyone else ignored her. After 35 minutes, the shutdown ended. Lin Qiunan reported that to the right there was a gas station with a convenience store attached. The gas station had 4 zombies and 2 zombie dogs. Difficulty was low. I suggested heading there for the resources. I started the bus and we rolled forward. As we arrived, I noticed another bus already parked at the gas station, a smaller, older one, and through the windows I could see it was full of male students. The boy driving it spotted us in the rearview mirror. His eyes went wide. I heard the reaction from inside their bus, exclamations about how it was a bus full of girls, and what luck. Their tone made my jaw tighten. 10 minutes later, our buses reached the gas station together. Lin Chuan had scouted ahead and whispered her assessment to me. The boy at the front had a B-rank talent called Skin Hardening, and the one next to him had a B-rank talent called Skin Spikes. Both were combat types, potentially dangerous. I thanked her and told everyone to stay alert. One of the male students stepped forward, a swagger in his walk. He looked at the crowd of girls and told his friend with a smirk that they should teach these women a lesson. Then he looked at me and said I was the only male among them, which meant I needed to be dealt with first. His companion, a boy named Zhang Zihao, gave a cold order to take me out and not let any of us leave. Multiple boys charged at once. Li Royale moved first, her S-rank super constitution making her explosively fast. She kicked one of the attacking zombie dogs mid-leap, and its skull caved in from the impact. She then turned and swept into the first male attacker. The boy with skin spikes tried to grab her, but she was already past him, landing a precise kick that sent him flying. Zhang Qihao tried to rise but couldn't. Within minutes, the ringleaders were down. The remaining boys scrambled back. From the crowd of male students, one boy came forward trembling violently. He apologized to me and explained that the attackers, Zhang Qihao and Zhang Zihao, had been bullying everyone on their bus since the beginning. He pointed out another gang member hiding in the group, Huang Ji, who had also been part of it. I asked Lin Chunan to check the relationships. She confirmed only the pointed out individuals were connected. Everyone else was a victim. I understood and told my classmates that anyone who threatened us would face the same. The remaining male students were told they could go, but I reminded them calmly that they had been the ones who attacked first. What happened to their leaders was a result of their own choices. Their leader, Huang Ji, was still in the group. He sneered and said he would remember us. My classmates dragged him back. He received the same treatment as the others. As the boys dispersed, Huang Ting suddenly stepped forward. She pointed at the bodies and declared it was murder. She asked how the class could just stand there with killers, and called on the girls to leave with her. Nobody moved. The atmosphere around Huang Ting turned icy. One classmate told her directly that these people had intended to kill us all. The class president and others had protected everyone. She said Huang Ting's words were deeply disappointing. Several others agreed and said Huang Ting wasn't fit to be their classmate, much less to stay on the bus. She had been nothing but trouble since the start. Huang Ting shouted back that they were only defending me because I was male. Li Royale stared her down and said it had nothing to do with gender. It was about basic decency. The insults continued, but Huang Ting finally snapped and declared she was leaving. She told them not to come crawling back to her. Someone answered flatly, nobody would be doing any crawling. As the class president and driver, I officially declared the expulsion of Huang Ting from bus 15200. The system confirmed it. A transparent barrier appeared between her and the bus door. She would be permanently unable to board again. It was one of my driver's rights, one I had hoped never to use on any classmate. But this was entirely her own doing. Lu Xiaoying burst toward the door, begging her older twin not to go. I gave Xiaoying 2 minutes to say goodbye. Lin Chunan went down with her. Huang Ting ranted at Lin Chunan outside, calling her a small-time nobody, insulting the entire class, calling everyone murderers and saying they were disgusting for siding with me. Lin Chunan listened in silence. Huang Ting kept going until she had exhausted herself, then demanded to know what Lin Chuan wanted to say. Lin Chuan said nothing. In one swift motion, she raised the axe she was holding and ended it. She wiped the blood from herself, calm and methodical, then walked back to the bus. The class fell quiet when Lin Chuan returned without Huang Ting. Someone asked what they had talked about. Lin Chuan said it was nothing for children to worry about. Lu Xiaoying started to cry but was comforted by the others. Later, Lin Chuan came to my side. She asked quietly whether I was angry with her. I told her I wasn't, and that I could guess what had happened. We both understood. Huang Ting alive was a threat that would only grow. If she gained any advantage later, she would certainly come for us. Lin Chunan had done what I, as the class president, couldn't do. I thanked her. Her expression softened slightly. She said having told me meant the weight on her chest was a little lighter. Li Ruoyao came over with a look that I had already come to recognize. A flash of jealousy at seeing me with Lin Chuan. She told Lin Chuan she wasn't interrupting anything, and Lin Chuan drifted away with a small smile. Li Royale faced me, fidgeting slightly, and then said she liked me. I told her I already knew. I had been able to sense it. She asked what I thought about her. I told her she was beautiful. Her legs were long and very fair. She told me that if I liked, she could be mine, but only as the official one, or at minimum the senior one. I teased that she was making me sound like a terrible person. Li Ruoyao caught me glancing toward Lu Xiaofeng, Lu Xiaoying, and a few others. She called me a flirt and then pulled me toward her without waiting for another word and kissed me. Lu Xiaofeng, sitting in the back, watched with eyes that looked like they might crack from the effort of not looking away. She had been waiting for the right moment to talk to me alone. Lu Xiaoying leaned over and whispered to her twin that she needed to be bolder if she liked someone. Lu Xiaofeng pressed her lips together but said nothing. That night I assigned driving shifts and tried to get some rest in the back. Lu Xiaofeng came to tell me it was her turn to drive. I told her to be careful of the zombies outside, and if she needed to stop, to wake everyone first. I got up to move to her seat. Li Ruoyao grabbed my arm and pulled me further toward the back of the bus. Lu Xiaofang gripped the steering wheel and stared at the road, quietly seething. The Day 3 sign-in gave me the option of 20 random weapons, 200 McJoy biscuits, or 2 cold water paint papers. I chose the weapons. 20 weapons for the whole class. It was the clear choice. The system distributed them: 5 fire extinguisher clubs, 3 long swords, 4 staffs, 5 pens, 2 kitchen knives, and 1 wireless chainsaw. I held up the chainsaw with a raised eyebrow. Li Ruoyao came over immediately and said it was amazing and asked if it was my daily reward. I confirmed it and told everyone to wake up. I was distributing weapons. I took back Li Ruoyao's fire axe from before and gave her the chainsaw, then went down the rows and handed out the rest based on each person's build and strength. Someone pointed out that zombies had appeared even during daytime now. I agree that it seemed like the difficulty was quietly escalating. Better to stay prepared. The temperature was noticeably colder, 4 degrees below yesterday's reading. It seemed too sharp to be coincidence. I warned everyone that we would need to find clothing as well as food and water going forward. Someone muttered nervously about whether a cold front was really coming. At 6:50 a.m., the bus shut down for 7 minutes. Li Jian approached me during the shutdown, asking to borrow water. I agreed but told her she would need to return it. She nodded and then surprised me by apologizing. She said she had been wrong to bully Lu Xiaofang and Lu Xiaoying and promised to protect them from now on when we explored stations. She bowed to me and then ran off. After the shutdown, I opened the bus panel and saw I had collected enough materials for the large water condenser. I built it on the spot. Combined with the smaller condenser we already had, we now had 25 liters per day. It would barely cover everyone, but it was enough for now. I called everyone together. A system message announced the next station, Huanggang Station, near Huanggang Village. I asked Lin Chuan to give me the full read. Lin Chuan reported, medium-low difficulty, 1 black iron mid-quality treasure chest at the station, 2 ordinary upper-quality fushi, and 1 ordinary mid-quality fushi waiting at the platform. She paused to explain what fushi were. They were a type of zombie that functioned like delivery workers, wanting to board the bus and be transported to a destination. Unlike regular zombies, they wouldn't attack unprovoked as long as they were on board. Someone asked how that was different from regular zombies. Lin Chunan said the key difference was they were rideable, and we'd get transit coins for delivering them. I said it made sense. Class rules said not to let dangerous passengers board. The question was whether these 3 fushi qualified as dangerous. I proposed we trust Lin Chionan's read and let them on, deliver them to Huanggang Village for the coin reward, and then deal with them afterward. The debate was lively. Some classmates didn't like the idea of having zombie delivery workers sitting in the seats with them. In the end, the group voted and we proceeded. The bus arrived at Huanggang Station. The platform was stark, no buildings, just a single bare station pole, and 3 shambling figures in ragged clothes with rotting skin standing motionlessly beside a black treasure chest. A signpost nearby read, 10 kilometers to Huanggang Village. The 3 fushi boarded one at a time, moving in a slow, shuffling rhythm, and found empty seats to sit in without incident. The system confirmed. Deliver 3 fushi to Huanggang Village within 25 minutes for a reward of 2 transit coins each. I drove toward the village junction. Lin Chuan advised me to take the left fork toward Huanggang Village to complete the delivery, but warned that the village interior itself was at extreme danger. I only needed to reach the entrance. As we neared the village, I slowed the bus and exchanged a look with Li Ruoyao. The 2 of us stepped off as the fushi stood to disembark. The moment 2 of them stepped outside, we acted quickly and efficiently. One was handled by Li Ruoyao, the other by me. The third received similar treatment moments later. System confirmed, delivery completed. I had earned 6 transit coins. The global broadcast echoed through the chat channel. I was the first driver in Region 6 to complete a passenger delivery. I was awarded the title Model Driver and 20 attribute points. I added 10 to Constitution, 5 to Agility, and 5 to Stamina. Lin Chuan mentioned, slightly flustered, that if I saved up 20 transit coins, she wanted a bedroom installed in the bus. She added, even more flustered, that it would give me and the class committee member some pride at space. Everyone in earshot made sounds of encouragement or teasing. Li Ruoyao looked away pointedly. We continued driving, and I traded on the chat channel to top up on missing resources. After gathering enough, I announced I was upgrading the bus again. The bus expanded with another surge of energy. The system confirmed. Bus upgraded to level 3. I had obtained additional blueprints, including a glory blueprint, and unlocked the acceleration function. Usable once per day. Lin Chuan teased that if we collected enough coins, she could still make that bedroom happen. A classmate, Zhao Yuting, came to me quietly and asked to borrow cigarettes and a lighter. I said she'd need to trade something for them later. She agreed readily and left. Later, Li Ruoyao pulled me aside and asked what Zhao Yuting had wanted. Suspicious. I told her the truth and she relaxed, but jabbed me about always chatting with other girls. The next station announcement, Yingcun Station. Lin Chunan's scan confirmed. One bronze mid-ranked fierce ghost at the platform. It was not genuinely a passenger. Its real intent was to trick the bus into stopping and opening its doors, so it could feed. However, as long as we didn't stop and didn't open the doors, there was no real threat. The ghost was bound by the game's rules from approaching a moving bus. I warned everyone and kept the bus moving, hugging the left side of the road so we didn't get too close to the platform. As we passed Yingsan Station, I saw it. A massive humanoid creature standing on the platform steps, easily 3 meters tall, with blood-red eyes locked onto the bus as we went by. The system warned my spirit power had dropped 20 points from the sight. I gritted my teeth, so just seeing certain monsters cost spirit power. That was something to watch. Lin Chuan murmured that the station had a high difficulty rating and that the creature's constitution was 320 points. Our entire bus combined would struggle against something like that. I noted it and filed it away. About an hour later, a different bus rolled past Yingsan Station on the adjacent road. We heard through the chat channel what happened. The other driver saw the ghost standing there and thought it might be a rideable passenger. His bus led it on. The system global announcement that followed was grim. A player called Chen Jianqing had been the first bus in Region 6 to suffer a complete wipe. The system noted as a warning that passenger acceptance carried risk. The chat reacted with horror and dark humor. I was glad Lin Chunan had told us in time. That night, a new type of zombie began following the bus. It was a collider zombie, black iron low rank, 63 constitution. I watched it ran the road barrier and laughed to myself, then decided to test something. I drove straight at it. The collision with the collider zombie destroyed it. It dropped 2 transit coins and a black treasure chest in the wreckage. The chest was too risky to retrieve with all the other zombies around. I noted the drop with regret and moved on. The bus had lost 3 durability points from the hit. By midnight, the cabin had grown quiet as most classmates slept. Then the Tiandao system announced cheerfully, "Congratulations, the new player protection period had ended." Wasn't that exciting? The chat channel erupted in grumbling and dark humor aimed at the voice. Tiandao acknowledged it was getting cursed at and didn't mind. It then gave a 3-day death report. 500 million players worldwide had died. 90,000 buses had been completely wiped out. Regional rankings were now being calculated, with rewards split across 5 tiers. I opened my ranking. I was first in Region 6. Each of my classmates received 15 attribute points and 10 additional backpack slots. My personal driver reward was a skill book, 500 milliliters of Nongfu spring water, 100 bottles, and 3 random skill books. The rewards were overwhelming. Everyone was practically vibrating with excitement, and then Tiandao dropped the new rule changes on us. The cabin went quiet. The changes were not gentle. Buses would now shut down at unpredictable intervals. The implications were obvious. If the bus shut down while surrounded by zombies, we'd have to fight our way through on foot. I tried to keep everyone calm and told them not to lose heart. I distributed the 3 skill books, Farming to Zhang Keke, Mysterious Shield to Lin Xiuan, and a Control Skill to Luo Xiaoshui. Then I set up a night watch rotation. 41 classmates divided into 8 groups, 7 groups of 5, 1 group of 6, taking turns watching through the night to catch any sudden shutdowns. Day 4 sign-in. I was offered a random black iron skill, or 300 bottles of Nongfu mineral water, or 50 transit coins, or 1 magnetic stun baton box, black iron grade. I looked up the magnetic stun baton in the commerce shop and found it was worth 1,000 transit coins. I chose option 4 without hesitation. The next station announced, Special Combat Station. Lin Chuan scouted. Medium-low difficulty, containing iron puppets as guardians. At least 15 of them, with the strongest being black iron low rank. She also mentioned there were raw iron stones inside, raw ore that would need smelting to become usable ingots. I called for volunteers. 28 hands went up. More than I had expected. I was pleased. At the station, the iron puppets charged the moment we stepped off. They were impressive in a mechanical way. Metal frames, stiff joints, grinding gears, but not truly threatening at our current level. The largest one stood over 3 meters and had a constitution of 195, but with everyone coordinating, it was manageable. Chen Tonga retrieved a skill book during the fight. Iron Puppet Summon, which would let her call 1 puppet to fight for her. She was thrilled. Lu Xiaofeng's old large cleaver had been destroyed in the scuffle, so I gave her the one from the chest. She said she didn't know how to repay me, and I told her to just fight well. She nodded with feeling. After the fight, we swept through the station collecting resources. Plenty of iron swords and iron axes, enough to arm most of the remaining classmates who still didn't have proper weapons. I called the rest of the bus down and they collected everything remaining. Lin Chunan tallied the haul. 1 raw iron stone became 1 iron ingot after 10 stones. We had gathered enough for roughly 800 iron ingots, 50 of which were black iron quality. The bus resources had never been this rich. We looted 2 more stations that afternoon. I also noticed, and pointed it out to the group, that stations themselves seemed to have no zombie spawning. We could stop and search without worrying about being ambushed on the road. At lunch, I scrolled through the chat channel. Several people mentioned seeing a station spawn frequency increase. One bus mentioned finding a white-dressed woman zombie crouched by a roadside chest, pale, still, making no effort to chase them. Several others confirmed similar encounters. Something about that detail lodged in my memory. Having reached 20 transit coins, I spent them and installed a bedroom module in the back of the bus. Lin Chuan announced it with a knowing smile, saying now I had private space with a class committee member. The class erupted in cheers and wolf whistling. Li Royale made a point of looking out the window, pretending she had heard nothing. I upgraded the bus to level 4. The expanded frame now looked almost like a small charter coach. The system added new functional slots. 2 collider zombies rushed us from both flanks simultaneously. I hit the acceleration function and drove straight through both of them. The impact was jarring but satisfying. The shutdown hit immediately after. 12 minutes. Everyone scrambled off, and almost the moment we hit the pavement, zombies swarmed out of the roadside darkness. The fight was intense. Between my healing arts, Li Royale's raw combat power, the weapons we had distributed and the coordination we had developed over 4 days, we pushed through. When the dust settled, the ground was littered with zombies, and the drops included zombie virus serums, useful for anyone bitten, since the virus shortened the window before full infection. I distributed serums to everyone as a precaution, even though our healing arts talent could handle most injuries. With Lin Chuan unable to divine exact shutdown timing beyond rough probability estimates, I told everyone to stay light on their feet during night driving. The system announced we were approaching Yundong service area. Rules: free fuel, free food, free water, and the area was completely safe. Maximum stay was 12 hours. I said it felt like paradise. The class wanted to stay overnight badly. Everyone was exhausted. I suggested it carefully. We could rest, but I didn't want anyone becoming too comfortable to return to the road. In the end, the majority voted to stay. At the entrance, a man in white appeared in the toll booth. He said he was one of the service area managers and that the first visit was free. Maximum 12 hours, and he assumed we knew the rules. I smiled and pulled out a pack of cigarettes that had been among our trade goods. I held them out and said they were his. He must have left them behind earlier. The manager blinked, then accepted them with a quiet nod. I whispered to Lin Chuan to come with me to find this manager later. Her talent could verify whether what he told us was true or false. I parked the bus and announced to everyone, back at 4:55 a.m., no exceptions for latecomers. Then I reminded them I was setting up a small communication group in the chat channel so people could reach each other if needed. As everyone dispersed, Lin Chuan and I tracked down Wang Kai, the manager, for information. Li Ruoyao insisted on coming as protection, which I accepted. Wang Kai sat across from us and told us to ask. He said if it was something he was allowed to tell us, he would be honest. I asked if he was from our world, Earth. He said he was not from our world. I could call him Wang Kai, but his background wasn't something he could share. He had been a bus driver once, he mentioned. I asked about his passengers. His face stilled, and he said they were all gone. He told us to express our condolences. I asked about Tian Dao's real purpose. Why had the entire world been transported here? Wang Kai said he honestly didn't know much about that. He told us simply, keep the bus moving forward on the straight road, and don't let the monster behind catch up. Don't fight the chaser. Everyone you kill would be replaced by a faster, stronger one the next day. He then added, looking at the evening sky through the window, that the weather was getting colder. He guessed there might be a blizzard coming, possibly in just a few days. A real blizzard in this world could kill people. We needed proper clothing. A message pinged in the group channel. Some male students from another bus were harassing Lu Xiaofeng and threatening to hurt us once we left the service area. I got up immediately. At the confrontation point, a group of male students had surrounded a few of my classmates. Their spokesperson was a young man with an arrogant tilt to his chin. He said he just wanted to befriend a particular girl, but she had refused to add him as a contact. His tone suggested he expected me to apologize for this inconvenience. I said the girl's refusal was her right. He then looked at me and said something I chose not to repeat, followed by a demand that I hand over some of my classmates to their bus as goodwill. I told him that after we left the service area, we would see who was waiting for whom. One of the boys said I had some nerve. A few more stepped forward. Wang Kai's voice cut through the tension. He reminded everyone that fighting in the service area was prohibited, and suggested the parties separate. The ringleader sneered and told his group to fall back. They'd finish it outside. I turned to my classmates and told them to rest early tonight. We were probably going to have a fight in the morning. On the way back, I ran into a driver selling a special chest. After some negotiation, I got it for 10 packs of cigarettes, 10 bottles of alcohol, 10 cups of instant noodles, and iron ingots, along with other items. The chest could contain anything, an incredible weapon or a terrifying creature. The risk was real, but the upside was worth it. I gave it to Li Ruoyao and told her to open it tomorrow. Then we headed back to the rooms for the night. I noticed Lu Xiaofeng watching from the end of the hall as Li Ruoyao and I walked together. She said nothing. Xiaoying tugged her toward their own room, whispering encouraging words. Morning. Everyone assembled at 4:55 a.m. I had Li Ruoyao open the special chest while we were still in the safety of the service area. The chest opened. Clear Spirit Long Spear, bronze low rank. Its description confirmed it dealt exceptional damage to ghost-type entities. This was excellent. An unknown type of enemy had just received the counter. The mail bus appeared shortly after, blocking our exit route. Their spokesperson, the same arrogant boy from the night before, crossed his arms and waited for us to beg past him. I looked around at my classmates. Lin Chuan had already scanned the enemy bus. 3 players with talents, strongest being A rank. One had a daily food generation talent, one had B rank stone body, and one had B rank jumping enhancement. That last one posed the biggest challenge. A jumping enhanced opponent combined with stone skin could be tricky. I thought through how to handle it while the enemy gave us his ultimatum. The fight unfolded efficiently. Li Ruoyao led the charge, and between her constitution advantage, the weapons we had, and the coordinated formation we had practiced, the opposing group crumbled faster than they expected. No one on our side was seriously hurt. System: we had wiped out a rival bus and could salvage it for resources. The wreckage yielded a transit heart, the rare material needed for level 5 bus upgrade. I had wondered how to get one of those. I used the bus panel to break down the enemy vehicle for 30 more transit coins and materials. We continued on our way. On the road, I spotted something unusual ahead. A woman in a white dress crouching with her back to us, crying. The sound was audible even over the engine noise. I slowed immediately. Lin Chuanan confirmed it immediately. That was a weeping walker zombie. She said it was white silver low rank with over 600 constitution points. It wouldn't attack unless provoked, meaning if anyone got too close, or if we attacked it first, it would respond with catastrophic force. I veered the bus as far to the right as possible, keeping well away from the woman's position. We passed in silence. Several minutes later, a smaller bus appeared in the rear view, following our route. Its passengers could be heard through the chat channel. One of the male riders was commenting on the crouching woman, calling her pretty and suggesting they could take her. His companion apparently had to explain why that was a terrible idea. I held my breath. The smaller bus apparently came to its senses and sped away without incident. That day's sign-in gave me options: 10 attribute points, 50 transit coins, or 50 black iron ingots. I chose the coins. Lin Chuanan spotted something promising ahead: River West Village. It was a force station, meaning we had no choice about stopping. Lin Chuan's talent warned: medium difficulty, around 10 bronze low-rank special zombies inside. Their type was Fat Zombie. When approached, they vomited green fluid that drove nearby zombies berserk. Upon death, they also self-destructed, and the explosion also scattered the vomit. She also said there were 3 bronze mid-rank MP5 submachine guns inside, each with 59mm rounds, plus 300 spare rounds. I got to my feet and told the class this was a force station. Everyone had to participate. Someone burst out saying she didn't want to go near the zombies. I told her calmly, any classmate who refused to participate in mandatory stations would have their access to the communal water supply and shared resources revoked. I added that those who continued to be deadweight would eventually be removed from the bus entirely. That got several people moving who had been hesitating. One girl said she actually wasn't that scared anymore. The group prepared weapons. Inside River West Village, the fat zombies proved as tricky as described. Every time one died, it exploded in a spray of green fluid that sent nearby zombies into a frenzy. Lin Chuanan helped us navigate the village layout using her talent, directing us toward pockets of zombies that could be isolated and drawn out. We used the zombie frenzy fluid tactically to draw groups away from each other. In the end, we cleared the village with no casualties, collected 5 zombie frenzy blood flags, and found the 3 MP5 guns with full ammo in the village headman's house. I gave one to Lin Chuan, one to Li Ruoyao, and kept one for myself. Lin Chuan thanked me. Li Ruoyao asked if she could try firing it. I told her to go ahead and reminded her bullets weren't for testing. After resting briefly in the headman's house, we swept the rest of the village until near sunset, then headed back to the bus. With the immediate danger handled, I focused on logistics. I had built a small melting furnace earlier with the smelting blueprints we had gathered. Now I installed both the large water condenser and the furnace in the bus panel. Between them, we could now handle both water and iron ingot production. I also installed the warehouse module, which expanded our storage space considerably. The warehouse appeared in the rear of the bus and could hold hundreds of items without taking up seating space. The chat channel gave me news from other buses. Some had hit a forced escape station and nearly been wiped out. Another had encountered a special mission station requiring completion before leaving. The variety of station types was more extensive than I had thought. I spent coins to upgrade the bus armor to a higher durability grade, and then checked current resources. A message arrived from a driver named Huang Tian, who identified himself as the driver of the bus we had let go earlier. He said his bus had looted a clothing store and had plenty of thick winter clothes. He offered to sell 30 sweaters, 20 jackets, 20 padded coats. He wanted zombie virus serums in trade. I confirmed I could supply 30 serums for the full lot. He He agreed. I also traded for significant quantities of steel ingot material. The bus headed on through the afternoon. By the time I checked temperatures again, the drop had become undeniable. 4 degrees below the previous day's average meant this was not normal fluctuation. I announced to the class that in addition to food and water, we needed clothing from now on. Lin Qiwan looked out at the gray sky and said grimly, she hoped it was just cold and not what she feared it might be. The days blurred slightly as the temperature plummeted further. I spent both mornings trading aggressively, swapping iron ingots for warm clothing, and distributing everything to classmates as fast as I got it. The water condenser needed protecting from the freezing temperatures. I reinforced it with insulating materials from the warehouse. In the chat channel, the topic of blizzard survival was spreading. Several drivers had seen snowfall starting and were scrambling for coats. I was glad we had moved early. By day 8's end, every classmate had at least a padded coat. We passed through 2 more regular stations uneventfully, collecting resources both times. One yielded a bronze-quality chest containing arrows, a humidity bow, and 5 energy cores. I gave the bow to Xiaofang, the shortest and most precise-handed among those who had shown accuracy with ranged weapons. She received it gratefully. I noticed Zhang Keke watching with a downcast look, and made a mental note to find her something equivalent. The Day 10 sign-in offered 1 white-silver level upgrade module, or 1 chance at a fail-safe bus option. I chose the module. Lin Qiunan came forward on Day 10 morning with an unusual report. We were approaching a station called River Middle Station. Difficulty was high, and there were no resources. But there was a passenger. A ghost in red garments, white-silver peak rank, who wanted to be transported to a place called Helen Ancient Town for a wedding ceremony. The fare was 10 to 50 transit coins depending on service. I told her to be clear, this was a white-silver peak rank entity. We absolutely were not going to handle this like the Fuji. She agreed readily, and added it was listed as a proper passenger with a legitimate destination. As long as we delivered it safely, we would be fine. I held my spear in hand as I opened the bus door at River Middle Station. The sight made my spirit power drop 7 points instantly. An enormous figure in crimson robes stood motionless on the platform, its presence washing over us like cold water. Lu Xiaoying lost 10 spirit power from one look. The ghost approached and offered me 2 pieces of candy. I accepted them, studying the offerings. They appeared to be wedding candy. My model driver title must have made an impression. I told Lu Xiaoying to start driving. We headed for Halen Ancient Town. The road had 2 junction points, and without Lin Qiuan's divine prompt we would have taken the wrong paths. Each wrong turn would have led us deeper into extreme danger. With her guidance we navigated correctly and arrived at the ancient town. When the ghost descended from the bus, a small smile crossed its lips, a strange, unreadable expression. The system confirmed delivery and paid us in transit coins. My title bonus added extra to the payout. Snow had started falling as we left. Lin Qiuan said the blizzard Wang Kai warned us about was here. I announced the bus needed to be upgraded before the blizzard got worse. Everyone contributed resources. The bus expanded again. Level 5. New feature, the ignition system, which prevented unexpected shutdowns during extreme weather events. It also added 4 bedroom modules and a reinforced superstructure. The new bedrooms caused an immediate scramble. I told everyone the current 4 would be shared in rotation, until we could add more. Lin Qiunan said with great innocence that now I had a proper bedroom for private use. The class erupted again. The snow outside thickened, but the bus interior was warm. Most people finally slept without fear for the first time in days. The next day's sign-in, 1 bronze-quality iron saw. I would have preferred something rarer, but equipment was equipment. The road outside was oddly clear of zombies. It felt wrong. Lin Qiunan flagged the next station, Guanxi Station, a passenger station. This time the passenger was a wanderer. Lin Qiunan described them as a small but powerful NPC faction working to eliminate monsters and restore safety for human players. The destination was a place called Guanlan Community. I said this was different from the Fushi situation. We should treat the wanderer with respect and actually help him. The wanderer boarded the bus calmly. He introduced himself. He was heading to Guanlan Community to eliminate night demon zombies that had begun nesting there after the first Blood Moon event. He offered to give us route guidance at any junctions. He also handed me a gift before anything else, a material blueprint of considerable value. The gesture surprised me. I drove to Guanlan Community. The wanderer explained along the way that night demon zombies began appearing after the Blood Moon and were spreading. Their minimum quality was black iron, but the variety in numbers made them dangerous. Lin Qiuan offered to scout the community building by building. She said there were night demons on multiple floors, 3 of which were bronze peak rank, and one of the top floors had a talent chest. Very unusual. The wanderer confirmed the talent chest was something he was prepared to help us access, and thanks for our cooperation. Inside the community, the wanderer moved with practiced efficiency. He dispatched night demons with his spear while we supported and fended off flankers. The black iron grade ones fell quickly to our combined fire, A bronze lower rank one required the Wanderer's Spear and my healing arts together before it went down. On the upper floors, the numbers grew. 30 plus night demons swarmed after we breached the 5th floor. Lin Chunan directed us into a position where the zombie frenzy fluid could clear most of the crowd at once. It worked perfectly. 2 upper floors held a breeding-type night demon and 2 commander-type night demons. Bronze peak rank each, more formidable than anything we'd faced. The Wanderer indicated the breeding type was the root cause of all the night demons in the building. It could spawn more indefinitely. I had an idea. I asked Lin Chuan if using zombie frenzy fluid to draw the breeding type into sunlight would work. She estimated over a 50% chance of success. I agreed. Even better odds with more vials. We set the lure, the trap closed, and all 3 bronze peak rank night demons were drawn together and eliminated. The haul from the top floors was substantial. Energy cores, rare stones, talent card fragments. The Wanderer thanked us afterward with genuine warmth. He said without us he would not have survived this encounter. He handed over a chest use card, gold low rank quality, which would temporarily boost luck when opening chests. He suggested the talent chest upstairs was the right place to use it. I used it on the talent chest. The result: 5 E rank talent card fragments, 3 C rank fragments, 1 A rank fragment, and 1 S rank fragment. I immediately gave Lu Xiaofeng the 10 A rank fragments, telling her I believed in her. Lu Xiaofeng used all 10 fragments. System: congratulations, she had obtained the A rank talent apothecary. She could now craft medical compounds with each batch costing spirit power. New recipes could be discovered by pushing her spirit power past critical thresholds. I told her the materials from the warehouse were hers to use as she needed. After the Wanderer departed, he mentioned he could no longer use buses for a while. Too much to do elsewhere. We returned to the road. Lu Xiaofeng showed me her first batch recipes: zombie virus antidote, berserker compound, and a note that dangerous new recipes could emerge if she pushed past safe spirit power limits. Day 12 sign-in had 5 options. I took the B-rank battle talent card. The system confirmed I had obtained B-rank battle talent. Several classmates said I was going to surpass them soon. I told Li Ruoyao not to distract me while I was driving. She laughed, which set off another minor incident when I nearly veered. The system count of surviving global players stood at 7.2 billion. The first blood moon was imminent. Blood moon rules were displayed. Everyone's face went pale reading them. Someone muttered darkly that Tiando must have been enjoying themselves. Giving us good news followed immediately by terrible news. I told everyone what was coming would come regardless. We were prepared. Stay calm and fight well. In the chat channel, some people mocked us and hoped we'd be wiped out. Others defended us. One person threatened to curse whoever spoke badly about our bus. The blood moon descended. The sky went crimson. The world outside the bus changed instantly. Zombies stopped moving randomly and began coordinating, pressing toward the road in waves. I spotted a white-silver low-rank zombie actively chasing the bus, and called Li Ruoyao forward. She deflected while I fired the MP5 in short bursts. It took several hits but eventually dropped. Leaving a white-silver chest, Li Ruoyao jumped out in a brief window and retrieved it. A skill book perfectly suited to the weapon she had just been using. She laughed, saying the zombie had practically delivered it to her. Zombies started attacking from all 4 directions simultaneously. Classmates stationed at the windows used weapons and ranged attacks. The skill books and talents we had accumulated showed their worth. I noticed the zombies were disorganized in how they attacked, mostly just pressing and swiping at the glass rather than doing anything clever. Lin Chunan remarked that variety in zombie behavior was showing. Some were smarter than others. Someone shouted from behind. They needed iron ingots urgently because the bus durability was dropping. I opened the warehouse and threw ingots down the line. A bus in the chat channel mentioned encountering a station during Blood Moon night. I had never thought that was possible. Lin Chunan confirmed. It could happen. A driver offered to trade rare grass herbs for my iron ingots. I accepted. 10 stalks of hidden corpse grass exchanged for black iron ingots. I passed the herbs to Liu Xiaofeng immediately. She would know what to do with them. Blood Moon continued. I checked the global ranking in the morning. Our bus was in the top 3. Accumulated score was climbing toward 11,000. I could see the top 5, including one labeled Pingon, a second called Shouting Great Wall, and a third called Shenlong. A bus called Statue of Liberty in 4th position had just disappeared from the rankings. Wiped out. I shared the information with the chat channel, warning that large groups of Weeping Walker zombies had been spotted on certain roads. Best to reroute. The station alert came. Gaotai Killing Station, a slaughter-type station. 1-hour time limit. Lin Chuan's assessment. Manageable difficulty, with 5 fixed-mounted machine guns available to use, though they couldn't be taken away. Still, using them for an hour would be devastating for point accumulation. We arrived. The layout was a raised platform with approach corridors below. I stationed classmates at the machine guns and divided the rest into close combat support groups to handle overflow. I reminded everyone to fire in short bursts to prevent overheating. Someone suggested using water from our supplies to cool the guns if they got too hot. Good thinking. For an hour straight, zombie waves crashed against us and were fed into the machine guns. When the timer ended, we had cleared enough for over 1,000 points. No one on our side was seriously hurt. System. Our bus had taken first place globally. Score. 16,000 plus. I shouted the news to the chat channel so other drivers could recalibrate their expectations. The night had 3 hours left. I asked who wanted to practice accuracy on the remaining zombies. Several hands went up. I smiled and let them. Blood Moon ended. Global broadcast, first place. Pinggun bus. Driver Jiang Xiaochen, 20,126 points. Second place. Shouting Great Wall. Third place. Huaxia first. We were first. Actually first. Everyone celebrated. The rewards for our bus were staggering. An additional 20 attribute points per person, 15 backpack slots per person, 20 E rank fragments, 10 A rank fragments, 10 A rank fragments, a new title for the entire bus, Eternal Travelers, which granted each person 1 immunity to fatal damage, and a personal 200% attribute growth rate boost for me as driver. Survivors worldwide had dropped from 7.2 billion to 3.8 billion. Almost half the population was gone. I told everyone to take a moment then focus. Staying alive was the greatest achievement. I distributed the talent fragments based on who needed the most. Li Zhen received extra for her recent dedication. Yang Jiaxin got a set. Lu Xiaoying opened it immediately. Her talent, Mechanic. 4 capabilities. Repair the bus's durability, modify the bus structure, fabricate vehicles, and actively break down other buses. She was already plotting uses for that last one. Several other classmates got their fragments too. Chen Tonger's set gave her a B-rank talent she described with her eyes wide. Xiao Meng's fragments gave her a C-rank self-destruct talent. She could destroy everything within 10 meters once. But since our Eternal Traveler's title gave everyone 1 immunity to death, she could actually use this without killing herself. I told her it was a powerful hidden card. Day 14 sign-in. I chose the Transit Heart. With the Blood Moon over, the class had leveled up enormously. I mentioned building a shower room. Lin Chuan said it wasn't the priority. We needed to focus on bus upgrades before anything else. I took her point and shelved the shower idea for now. The next service area appeared ahead. Long Sea Service Area. Entry fee was 41 transit coins. I paid and parked. A shower room was already available inside the service area. Everyone cheered. I reminded them to be back in time. Lin Chuanan tugged my sleeve quietly. I asked her what was wrong. She said there was someone she recognized ahead, Teacher Jiang, our class's advisor, along with several other faculty members. She suggested I go see them, and added that if we were going to help anyone, it should only be Teacher Jiang. As I rounded the corner of the service area, I found Teacher Jiang, a woman I recognized, surrounded by faculty colleagues who were telling her loudly that she needed to send a message to her students asking for resources. The dean was particularly direct. Teacher Jiang's students were flourishing, clearly well supplied, so the least they could do was share. He added that tuition fees paid by students had effectively funded the teacher's knowledge, so students owed teachers. Teacher Jiang looked deeply uncomfortable. I walked over and greeted her. The faculty members turned and immediately began trying to pull me into agreeing with their logic. The dean argued that since I was apparently the #1 globally ranked driver, my bus must have plenty to spare, and it was only reasonable to help the faculty who had taught me. I looked at him calmly and said the global first pinging bus, and I might simply share a name and region. He should not assume. One of the other teachers pointed out that Jiang Xiaochen was not a common name, and we were both in Region 6. There was no coincidence. The dean shifted tactics and said, why didn't we just merge buses? It would be more efficient. I told them none of the faculty had any right to our resources and that merging buses was not going to happen. Then I turned to Teacher Jiang and asked her to come with us instead. The dean called after me that I was being ungrateful and threatened my academic standing, my degree, my graduation certificate. He said he would have me expelled when we returned to the real world. I told him to look at the global survival count. Over 60% of the population had died. His threats meant nothing here. The rest of the argument was brief. I used the bus panel to remove the hostile faculty member's bus driver. Their driver Hu Liming lost his status. Li Wei, a new driver, was auto-assigned. Then Lu Xiaoying used her mechanic talent to begin breaking down their vehicle. The faculty scattered in panic. The calm ones left the bus on their own. The ones who had been making threats found themselves stranded. Teacher Jiang boarded our bus with nothing but her hands. She introduced her talent. Mind control. She could bend the will of monsters and players weaker than herself. The limitation was constitution-based. Anyone with higher constitution than her was immune. She said she would work to grow it. Day 16. The sign-in gave me Lumberjack Factory module as first option, worth 1,000 transit coins. I took it without hesitation. Lu Xiaofang came to show me her pharmacy progress. 13 zombie frenzy agents completed, 12 hidden corpse grass plants, but she had run out of strong acid and alcohol. She also mentioned that at one point, pushing past safe spirit power limits in her workshop state, she had paid 150 spirit power and received a new recipe. She warned me that below 20 spirit power she could fall into a berserk state. I told her to be careful and that the nourishing herbs were hers to use freely. Her current recipes: zombie virus serum, berserker compound, burning agent, essentially a self-made incendiary grenade. Lin Chunan noticed the weather had warmed. After the blizzard, a rebound had come. She was not optimistic. She thought another climate disaster might be incoming, just the opposite kind this time. The system announced the next station, Rongyo Station, a passenger station. The passengers were parasitic ghosts who possessed human bodies. Any player with over 150 spirit power was immune to possession. I told everyone to verify their spirit power. Several classmates were below the threshold. I told them they were staying on the bus. The parasitic ghost passengers boarded with their possessing presence visible as a shimmer around them. Lin Chunan and I handled them, and they were dispatched before reaching the interior. The real problem was what Lin Chunan revealed next. Rongyu village itself had a parasitic ghost problem we had partially caused. She said I could derive value from it without putting anyone at risk. Shen Tonger's iron puppet, immune to possession, could be sent in as a scout. Shen Tonger agreed immediately and linked with her puppet. I watched through our shared visual connection. Inside the village, dozens of ghosts floated through the houses, visible to the puppet but indifferent to it, since it was not alive. The puppet swept room by room. In one structure, it found a skill book on a table and a treasure chest nearby. It moved toward them, and the most powerful ghost in the building reacted. It had possessed a human body. When Chen Tonger's puppet reached for the skill book, the ghost destroyed the puppet. Chen Tonger came back to herself with a yelp. I asked her if she could build a new puppet. She confirmed yes. I went to the chat channel to ask if anyone had something to attract fierce ghost entities. A player offered ghost candles. They attracted multiple spirit-type entities. Price: 1 zombie frenzy agent per candle. I accepted and traded 4 candles. Chen Tonger sent a new puppet in carrying a ghost candle. The moment the candle was placed, every ghost in the area swarmed toward it, leaving the skill book unguarded. The puppet snatched both the skill book and the treasure chest and pulled back just as the ghost rush began. Skill acquired, Soul Extinction, white silver low rank. It dealt massive damage to spirit-type entities and could also target players' spirit power directly. Learning time: 2 hours. Cooldown: 1 minute 30 seconds. I started learning it immediately. Lin Chuanon suddenly went pale. She grabbed my arm and said to accelerate. Something had come out of the village and was chasing us. It was the possessing ghost, still inhabiting the human body it had taken over. Lin Chuan's read. The body's constitution exceeded 1,000 points, agility 500. We had roughly 6 hours before it caught us. Teacher Jiang Yingyue, said her mind control could work on it, but only for 1 or 2 seconds. Maybe. I told everyone the plan. In 6 hours, I would finish learning Soul Extinction. During those hours, we would keep our distance. When the pursuer closed in, I would use Soul Extinction and Teacher Jiang would use mind control simultaneously to pin it. The bus shutdown hit in the middle of our preparations. 47 minutes of exposure with that thing behind us. We managed the shutdown. Everyone fought off the zombies that swarmed during the outage, with injuries treated by Lu Xiaoxie and her healing arts. When the ghost-inhabited body finally caught up, I was ready. Teacher Zhang seized its mind for the critical 2-second window. In that instant, I fired Soul Extinction at full output. The ghost shrieked. The body it inhabited collapsed. System: I had eliminated the most powerful ghost entity of the Longyao village zone. Reward: 1,500 transit coins. Lin Chunan then noticed a chest nearby. We stopped to open it. The contents included a gold-rank pistol with infinite ammunition, the yellow Golden Eagle handgun. I stared at it for a long moment. I passed it to myself, then reconsidered and offered Yang Jaxine the engraved knife that had also dropped. She accepted it with disbelief, saying she had no way to repay me. I told her she could repay me with dedication. That was enough. Day 17 sign-in. I chose a special module activation card. The system announced the next station, Longzhong Arena Station. This was a forced challenge station. Tiandao would force 2 buses to compete in 5 one-on-one duels, best of 3 wins. 3 of the 5 combatants per side were chosen by Tiandao at random. Each combatant's equipment could only be used once. Loser options: surrender or perish. I muttered my disbelief. Out of 41 classmates, Tiandao's random selection had landed on me, Luo Xiaoxie, and Li Zhen. I told them to relax. If their opponents weren't far beyond them in constitution, there shouldn't be a problem. I chose the remaining 2 from our side, myself and Li Ruiao. The order came in. Luo Xiaoxie was first. Everyone gave her gear. Li Ruoyao equipped her with her gold rank handgun. Luo Xiaoshu said that with the Eternal Traveler's immunity, even a worst-case scenario wasn't fatal. Our opponent's bus was lined up opposite ours. Their 5 fighters included 4 males and 1 female. Their first fighter had a B-rank shape-shifting turtle talent. He could transform into a humanoid turtle with hardened shell armor. Luo Xiaoxie faced him on the platform. He transformed immediately. She waited for his approach, raised the handgun and fired once through the shell. He staggered. She fired twice more. The shell cracked apart. He fell off the platform. Classmates erupted into noise. Their opponent's side went quiet. Second fight. Our combatant used a flash step movement skill so fast the opponent couldn't locate him on the platform. While they were looking around, a blow came from behind. His weapon was taken for good measure. Third fight. Teacher Jiang faced her opponent. He raised a gun at her immediately. She used mind control, and his gun turned to point at himself. He surrendered instantly, pale and shaking. He was lucky to get away with just a surrender. After a brief standoff, following the last fight, their side was unhappy but kept to the agreement. I congratulated them on competing with honor, and told them to go on their way. System, bus ping and victory. Every player gained 5 constitution plus 10 spirit power, and I received 100 bronze quality iron ingots as a personal bonus. The defeated bus's driver sat quietly for a while after, then started his vehicle and left. I heard fragments of their conversation, someone on their side saying the guy from our bus was definitely top tier. Lin Chuan's talent picked up a warning at a junction. 3 possible paths. Path 1 had a devouring tight ghost of terrifying scale. Path 2 led toward Hell in Ancient Town, which we had visited before. But something had changed. A female ghost named Liu Wan Yang, yellow gold low rank, was waiting there. She had apparently broken through to a new power tier. Path 3 promised 100 ghost procession. Someone asked, wasn't that the wedding ghost we had delivered to the town before? I agreed. That was her. And the name on the village gate marker when we approached had apparently changed. Liu Wanyang and Zhang Xiaoan. I stared at that information for a long time. Someone said quietly that the wedding candy from earlier might actually have been the betrothal gift. I picked Path 2. Better a known danger than unknown ones. Before going in, I used the radio equipment I had acquired to eavesdrop on communication coming out of Hell in Ancient Town. The messages I intercepted were ghosts gossiping. Someone was saying today was the town mistress's wedding day, and the groom was a human. Several voices expressed interest in eating the human guests who would come. One voice above the rest said she hoped to meet her intended soon. After the wedding, she planned to kill him herself, and then refine his spirit into a ghost, so they could be together forever. I shared this with the class. Teacher Zhang immediately said she thought she could use mind control on the bride once we captured her. If she could work on her long enough, she might be able to turn her cooperative. The plan, we would use a ghost binding rope to capture Lu Wanyang and bring her onto the bus. Then Teacher Zhang would gradually work on her over days. We entered the town carefully, avoiding the stronger ghost presences. A bronze-quality ghost elder blocked our initial path, but was handled quickly. We gathered supplies from several buildings along the way, including another skill book and a white-silver mid-rank ghost soul technique scroll, and then moved toward the central hall. Lu Wanyang appeared at the end of a corridor. Even after having seen her before, the transformation was striking. She was significantly more beautiful than when she had boarded the bus, and her power presence was heavier. She greeted me with a phrase I had not expected. She addressed me as her intended, and asked if I was here to play a special game with her. Li Ruoyao appeared at my side and told the ghost quite directly that she was my woman and the ghost was welcome to leave. Li Ruoyao's eyes went flat. The two exchanged words that grew heated quickly and then came to blows. It was remarkable. A white silver rank human constitution against a yellow gold rank ghost entity. They were actually evenly matched in the exchange, which told me everything about how far Li Ruoyao had grown. We got the ghost binding rope around Liu Wanyang at the right moment. She struggled, then stilled. Teacher Jiang took Liu Wanyang's leash and applied her mind control while we retreated to the bus. Liu Wanyang, half bound and glaring, demanded to know why I was doing this to her. She said she was trying to help me. I told her I didn't need the kind of help she was offering. She would stay on the bus until she came to her senses. A new cooperation station announcement. Longdong Cooperation Station. 2 buses would be forced to work together in a 1-hour zombie slaughter. The system would allocate zombies by bus capacity. Lin Xiunan flagged our incoming partner, one female driver with an S-rank talent, Ice Frost Master. Alongside her, a B-rank giant and an A-rank self-healing talent among her team. I recognized the name when it appeared. Su Meichi. Sexy cockroach bus. The other bus arrived. Su Meichi stepped out. She was younger than I had expected, and her composure was sharp. She said she hadn't expected me to be so young, and apologized for any past rudeness in the chat channel. I told her not to worry about it. Luo Xiaoshu told her we actually liked her straightforward energy. The cooperation challenge began. Zombies poured in from the access routes. I opened fire with the Golden Eagle. Su Meichi's ice powers froze zombies mid-charge, and the crunching sound of them shattering became a kind of rhythm. Our classmates moved with coordination developed over weeks of survival. A zombie dog leaped at Yang Jiaxin. She wasn't hit, but it was close. I called for her to get to Lu Xiaoxie. Then the giant zombie arrived. Yellow gold low rank. Constitution 1900. Agility 18. I stared at the numbers. One shot from the Golden Eagle at full power did less than 1% damage. I called out its throat as the weak point. Teacher Jiang locked it in place with mind control for 2-second windows. Su Meichi froze it. Li Ruoyao and Zhang Keke both hit the wild ramming technique simultaneously on its knees. Every frozen moment was used by multiple people to land critical hits. The cycle continued. Freeze, stagger, strike, until the giant zombie finally crumpled. Su Meichi tried to claim the kill for the final blow, but Lin Chuanan spoke first and claimed the yellow gold chest for our side. Su Meichi laughed after a moment and said she deserved that. System: Bus Ping'an took first place in the cooperation station. Reward: 5 constitution, 2 stamina, 10 spirit power per person. I received a ghost restraint rope. Su Meichi got second place results. She was gracious about it. I offered to trade. We had an ice element module card that significantly boosted ice type damage. It was perfectly suited for her talents. In exchange, she offered 40 hidden corpse grass seeds, other plant seeds, and a ticket to a garden, a special location with games and rewards. I accepted. The seeds went to the lumberjack factory I had installed, and the garden ticket I tucked away for later. Su Meichi asked one last question before her bus left. Was she really being recruited, or was that Lin Chuan's idea? I told her it had been my thought. She thanked me but declined. She was her class's driver and wouldn't abandon them. But she said the invitation was open if anything changed. We parted on genuinely good terms. Using the radio equipment later, I overheard Su Meichi's bus chatting. One of her classmates was criticizing me, saying the guy from our bus was nothing special and had only been lucky with his talent. Su Meichi cut them off sharply and said I was a valuable partner and ally, and anyone who spoke that way about me again would be removed. I upgraded the bus to level 7 after pooling materials. The new features included a zero bottom function, which meant the bus could now ram through ghost-type enemies directly without sustaining damage. The interior had expanded again and could now fit over 100 people. We used the garden ticket. Upon arrival, an ethereal older gentleman with composed eyes and slow movements greeted us. He introduced himself as the garden master and said this was my first visit. His rule: 3 games, the number of wins would determine how much I received. He confirmed no penalty for losing, just fewer rewards. Game 1. Seed bomb. 100 seeds were laid out. The garden master had hidden 1 bomb seed among them. I could take as many as I wanted, and every seed I took added points. But if I took the bomb seed, I lost and gained nothing. Lin Chuanan stepped forward and said she would play. I agreed. She began picking seeds with careful attention, glancing at the garden master after each choice, watching his expression for involuntary tells. He told her flatly he wasn't going to give her any hints. She accumulated 50 seeds, then paused. The garden master offered increasing bonuses per additional seed, 2 points each at 50 remaining, then 20 points each at 30 remaining. Lin Chuan continued steadily. At 15 seeds remaining, the risk was much higher. He offered 100 points per seed. She declined. The odds at 1 in 15 weren't worth it for 100 points each. He then offered 300 points per seed at 2 remaining. A 50-50 chance for 300 points versus losing everything. The class was divided. Half wanted her to stop, half to continue. Lin Chuanan sat with it for a moment, then took one more. It wasn't the bomb. He offered 500 points for the last seed. Lin Chuanan said no. She walked away with 1,300 points total. The class exhaled collectively. Game 2, Monster vs. Zombie. The Garden Master provided purchasable monster units to fight against a wave of generated zombies. We bought and positioned units strategically over 10 minutes of combat. At the end, the score came up higher than the Garden Master had predicted. He looked mildly surprised and said the payout would reflect it. Game 3, Cruel Choice. System gave us the rules. Starting from 10 points, each of our 42 people could get 5 extra if someone was sacrificed to boost the rest. I looked at the Garden Master and said we would not be playing that game. He seemed neither surprised nor displeased. He noted it philosophically and said he was merely the host. Tian Dao designed the games, not him. I told him I understood, and that his job was just to be entertained. Fine. We had played 2 games and won both. I asked for the rewards. The Garden Master sorted through a list and gave us an extensive payout. Weapons, skill books, construction materials, attribute enhancement items, enough to feel genuinely wealthy. He invited us to stay and look around. I thanked him but said we needed to move on. Lin Chuanan flagged one more danger as we approached the 50-kilometer mark. A burning corpse ghost, yellow gold mid-rank, was waiting at a ghost-blocking road ahead. Its ability was to force the bus to shut down and hold all passengers. Difficulty, medium. Reward for defeating it, very high. I said we should deal with it rather than bypass it. It would only keep appearing otherwise. Teacher Jiang agreed. She said her mind control would not work on it for long given the power gap, but she could provide a brief window. We stopped the bus at the ghost's location. The burning corpse ghost appeared immediately, wreathed in silent fire. It looked at us with hollow eyes. I raised the golden eagle. Teacher Jiang sent a pulse of mind control. 1 second, maybe 2. I fired soul extinction the instant the ghost staggered. The ghost came apart in a cascade of light. System confirmed. Burning corpse ghost eliminated. Reward: 2 constitution, 2 spirit power, 2 stamina, and 10 spirit power for every bus member. New title: Ghost Barrier Breaker. My current stats: Constitution 544, Agility 279, Spirit Power approaching 2300, 5 skills, 4 titles. Lin Xuan stood close to me and pointed to something near the ghost's remains. I went over. There was a folded letter. I opened it and read. The first line stopped me. The letter was a record, the ghost's own voice, its last coherent thoughts before the transformation completed. It described being a human once, a player like us. It described the incremental loss of memories, the way the humanity faded and the instincts of the ghost took over. The last 2 lines were pure reflex, an impulse to burn to spread its condition to others. The letter was not written by hand. It appeared spontaneously at death, like a residue of what had been a person. I stood with the letter for a long moment. I told Lin Xuanon when it said. She went quiet. We had been killing ghosts since the beginning. I had not known they might have been people once, might still have held fragments of who they were. I folded the letter and kept it. When we returned to the bus, Teacher Jiang met me at the door. She told me there was something I should know. Liu Wanyang had cooperated fully since last night and wanted to speak with me. Liu Wanyang was sitting quietly when I came to her corner of the bus. She looked up, and for the first time since we had captured her, there was no combativeness in her expression. She said she would stop trying to make me join her. I sat down across from her and said that was good. I asked if she had thought about what she wanted now. She said she would stay with us for a while. She could not undo what she was, but she could choose what she did with it. Then she held out her hand. In her palm was a bracelet made of translucent jade-like material, with light slowly cycling through it. She said it was for me. I asked what it was. She told me, once worn, my spirit power would be permanently capped at its maximum and locked in. All other combat attributes would begin doubling daily, without limits. I stared at the bracelet, then at her, then back at the bracelet. I asked her why she was giving it to me. She said if she could not have me, the least she could do was make sure I survived whatever was ahead. I took the bracelet and put it on. The moment it settled on my wrist, the world shifted slightly. A faint hum resonated through my spirit power, and something in my system panel began to glow. Outside, it had started to rain. Soft, steady rain. The first rain I had heard since we arrived in this world. The girls near the windows fell quiet and watched it streak down the glass. I sat in the driver's seat and looked ahead at the road. It was still straight. It was still leading somewhere, and we were still moving. After Lu Wanyang gave me the bracelet and pledged her existence to me, she finally explained exactly what her gold low-grade spiritual gear could do. The red bridal gown soaked up spiritual damage and projected a skill called Red Veil Bewitchment that stunned any fierce ghost weaker than gold grade for 3 seconds. The red bridal veil on her head fired a beam of red light that did high spiritual damage. Both pieces had a 5-minute cooldown, and when she possessed me they manifested on my body and I could use them. The girls were impressed. Liu Wanyang was so pleased she immediately referred to herself as one of my wives in front of everyone. Li Ruoyao's smile got tight. Lin Chuan quietly steered the others somewhere else. We were still on the road during the second blood moon night, the bus crushing night demons at speed. Then Song Shu Yi, one of the quieter girls in Lu Shue's group, suddenly stood up and walked toward the window in a daze. Her shoulder cracked when Li Ruoyao tried to pull her back. Her arm was about to come off. Lin Chuan shouted that there was a soul-snatching ghost on the glass, a face that lured anyone who held its gaze for 1 second. Late Mother flew up, found it on a rear left window, stunned it with the bridal gown's red light, and dragged it inside. I crushed it with the ghost hand. 3,000 points dropped into the bus account. Lin Chuan ran the math. The ghost converted its victims into copies of itself, which meant a single one in an unprepared classroom could wipe out an entire bus by morning. I posted the warning to the world chat, drive with high mental strength players for the rest of the night, and don't make eye contact with any face on any window. An old contact from the first day, Huang Xiaoya, replied saying her bus was being knocked on by something polite and rhythmic. Lin Xiunan couldn't probe through a screen, and her station turned out to be the fierce ghost graveyard. I had nothing to give her. I kept the points climbing by throwing pus packets at the bus's left and right armor, Lin Chunan's idea, to stack the night demons evenly on both sides. Several silver zombies dropped on the way, and a great fireball skill book fell out of one of them. I gave it to Sister Jiang. Her telekinesis would let her steer the fireball. The system flagged to passenger station ahead, Longyue Lake Station. The passenger was a ghost called the Rain Woman, gold grade in water and silver supreme everywhere else, who needed to be delivered to Longyue Lake within 45 minutes. Lin Chuan said she had her own goals and would not attack us if we behaved. She boarded barefoot, soaking wet, and stared at me longer than at anyone else before sitting down and going still. Lu Wanyang tried to make small talk and was told to scram. 40 minutes later, we reached the lake shore and she walked straight into the water. As she dissolved, the system paid out 300 bus coins, 1,000 points, and a special piece of equipment called the Heart of the Rain Woman. It was a blue heart-shaped pendant, gold high grade. It summoned 3 Rain Woman avatars on a 1-hour cooldown each, every avatar a gold low-grade ghost in her own right, lasting 10 minutes. For 1,000 mental strength on a 72-hour cooldown, I could even summon her true body for 10 minutes. Lin Chuanan then gave me the second piece of news. 2 gold-gray giant zombies, plus dozens of high-quality silvers, were sleeping at the bottom of the lake. The water suppressed any physical creature below silver, which was why they were dormant despite the blood moon. I'd lose tens of thousands of points if I left them. I summoned the 3 avatars, asked permission to clear the lake, and Late Mother possessed me. The chill spread through every bone. I was spiritualized, my mental strength jumping from 2,200 to over 2,700, my body floating like one of the avatars. We dropped through the water. The giant zombies were just lying there. I blew the first one's head apart with the Bridal Veil's beam. The avatars took the second. Both dropped silver supreme treasure chests. With time left on the clock, I lit the corpse-burning lighter and used Incinerate All. Golden ghost fire spread through the lake water, burning everything until the water finally smothered it. The system informed me I had earned my first point of curse, a new attribute that increased the chance of encountering fierce ghost passengers and ghost roadblocks. Above 100 curse the ghosts encountered would grade up by 1 tier, worth tracking. Inside my head, Late Mother's voice purred, asking why we shouldn't elope and stay at the bottom of the lake forever. My body kept swimming for the surface. She admitted, eventually, that it was a joke. She had never taken control. I wasn't laughing. When the 10 minutes ran out and she emerged from my body, I gave her one cold look. She threw herself into my arms in tears, swore she would never joke like that again, and pledged in the most binding voice she could manage that she would obey her husband for the rest of her existence. The chests yielded a gold ultimate grade teleportation scroll, a one-time use that snapped me and any nearby passengers back to the bus. 2 skill books, Sky Opening Palm for Li Royale and Mount Tai Press for Zhang Kek, and a gold low-grade golden AK-47 with infinite ammo. I kept the AK and an iron ingot synthesis table I had just unlocked, and listed iron ingots on the trading market at 4 bus coins apiece, undercutting every other vendor. Over 100,000 bus coins poured in by morning. For about 2 hours, the bus held world number 1, until Major General Li Luzhen's guard the Great Wall jumped past us with a 30,000-point spike. He had killed something gold grade in 1 strike. Far away on a fog-blanketed stretch of highway, Li Luzhen, S-rank golden light flicker with 200 starting constitution and 100 starting mental, his deputy Wu Gang carrying A-rank radar, had punched a beam of golden light through the fog and pierced the true body of a vengeful ghost hidden among countless ghostly clones. His passengers were old men, sick women, sleeping children, refugees other buses wouldn't take. After he killed the ghost, his own bus stalled. The lights died, the fuel gauge died. He had used ignition 2 hours earlier. He turned around and looked at his passengers with red eyes. The story cut away there. I lit a ghost candle to deliberately attract more fierce ghosts so the points would keep climbing. 3 more soul-snatching ghosts came. We killed them all without effort. Lin Chuan called it before the candle finished burning. A ghost roadblock and a passenger station 10 kilometers ahead, both carrying gold-grade ghosts. Flying ghost head on the roadblock. Drowned ghost on the station. I sent 2 Rain Woman avatars up the road to deal with both. And they did, returning with a soaked black raincoat called the Raincoat of Non-Drowning. It only buffed mental strength while the wearer was in liquid, useless to me, perfect for the Rain Woman. I gave it to her avatar before it dissolved. She smiled, took it, and vanished into a puddle. Lin Chuan told me later that the Rain Woman had been embarrassed to ask but had really wanted that raincoat. Favorability up. Going through the roadblock zone, the bus stalled anyway, even though the ghost was already dead. Lin Chuan worked out that the road segment itself caused stalls, not the ghost. The stall was only 7 minutes, under our 20-minute safety window now, and we coasted through on Lu Xiaoying's repair speed. I traded my last sticks of ghost-repelling incense to Lin Bufan, an S-rank ghost master who could mass-produce supernatural items if he had a template, for 2 more ghost candles, and kept farming. In the back, Wang Jiaqi was working on Yang Jackson, telling her the rest day was coming and that if she didn't confess to me before Luo Xiaoxie or Chen Tong'er, she was going to lose. The system, as if reading the room, helpfully posted an internal popularity ranking. Lin Chunan, Li Ruoyao, Late Mother and Liu Xiaofeng at 100 points, Liu Xiaoying at 99, Zhang Keke at 97, Luo Xiaoxu and Yang Jiaxin at 96, Wang Jiaqi at 95, Su Yuer and Sister Jiang at 93, Chen Tong'er at 92, even the Rain Woman at 90. Yang Jiaxin spent the rest of the night working up courage. By the time the sun rose and the second blood moon ended, we sat at 156,000 points. Guard the Great Wall came in second at 93,000. The Seagull Task Force took third with 75,000. Survival rate globally was 56%. About 1 billion people had died over the night, but the Heavenly Dao insisted that was 4% better than the first time. Perfect difficulty calibration. Region rewards arrived in a single bundle. 50 attribute points, 10 special points, and 20 inventory slots for every passenger. An extra 10 minutes of stall safety, 20 total now, 10 B rank fragments, 1 S rank fragment, and 1 B rank talent upgrade card. 9 luck for me, and a 50% boost to my weakest stat. 2 random passengers also drew a new talent. The first was Yin Shi, a rank lifesteal, a recovery talent that healed 2% on every weapon hit, doubled below half health, and stacked a temporary maximum HP buff. The second was Su Yuer, who got D rank ragdoll cat. She could turn into a small white cat, or just grow ears and a tail. Useful for nothing. Then the world updated. Behind vehicle monsters now ran 50 kilometers an hour instead of 40. Any non-player who stayed on a bus for 24 hours and acknowledged the driver became a passenger. Dungeon zones would start appearing. Areas merged in groups of 100. We joined the new Region 100, a Shenzhen pool. And our new luck stat scaled in segments. 1/10 of a point per ordinary point, a tiny crawl after the first 100. I had every passenger spend their special points on luck, with Liu Xiaofeng and Sister Jiang put on mental strength duty instead. Total fleet luck reached 123. Wang Jiaqi opened the B rank fragments and got cooldown refresh. She could reset any visible skill cooldown on the bus, including bus functions like ignition and repulsion, but her own cooldown doubled to match the refreshed skill. Refreshing ignition, 72 hours, put her out for 6 full days. We banked the B rank upgrade card for later. Account stood at 160,000 bus coins. I spent the rest day stripping and rebuilding. Bus armor jumped from manganese steel platinum to diamond grade with heat resistance and lightning protection. Tires went diamond, energy use down 100%, and top speed up 10 kilometers per hour. Glass went diamond in one way, invisible from outside, transparent from within. Suspension and brakes went gold. 2 MP5 firearm modules joined the 4 planets and 2 shooting platforms on the roof. The bus level itself jumped to level 8, 100 meters by 25. 3 full floors with the 3rd floor a dimensional space. Top speed 140 kilometers per hour. Durability 80, 20 minutes stall safety. The level up dropped a steel synthesis table blueprint, a new bus function called repulsion on a 12-hour cooldown that knocked everything back, and 10 free attribute points for every passenger. I bought 24 new bedrooms. Every classmate plus late mother and the 3 female tyrants got her own private upgraded room. Level 4 for the talented, level 3 otherwise. Level 6 for Liu Xiaofeng because of her potions. Level 1 for the unfilled 50th slot in case someone interesting boarded later. 4 shower rooms upstairs, and 2 laundry rooms with washers and drying rooms. Central air conditioning that doubled as a dehumidifier. Ergonomic seats stacking 10% recovery for stamina and mental. Gold grade reinforced sleeper for the driver's chair. Chen Tong'er finally got her large steel puppet, 2 layers of black iron armor, a silver weapon, gold low overall strength, 10 silver iron ingots inside it for self-repair. Xiao Ying's weekly modification this round let me pick from fuel tank expansion. Hybrid device Lev 2, or a 5-point durability bump. I took hybrid device Lev 2, half the fuel consumption plus 3 hand-cranked generators for cloudy days. The female tyrants got a generator each. Cranking gave them something to do. Liu Xiaofeng's new weekly potion was Adrenaline Potion, Silver Supreme Grade. Ignore pain, plus 30% constitution and 20% attack speed for 10 minutes. No side effects, made from 10 stalks of refreshing grass, 10 stalks of strength grass, and 2 energy cores. Su Meiqi's seed library happened to include strength grass, so we sowed both in the logging factory. I refreshed the permanent station, and the tavern came back as UXE Tavern. The blonde owner was the same, a gold cheapao today, eyes sharp. She caught me looking at her bottles and proposed a real wager. Same rules, but 5 times the reward if I beat her solo this last time. I accepted, drained 100 bottles of Black Night Vision wine before the title 1000 Cup Drunkard kicked the alcohol straight through me, and watched her hit the bar at bottle 230. She forced herself sober afterward and kept her promise. 1,500 bottles to take home, plus her name. Chindromian. Pour the wine and to sleep. She was the local administrator and had been alone at this station for 2 years. Lin Chuanan watched the exchange and informed me, much later, that I should not visit Chindromian every day. She was lonely. If I came too often, she'd serve garbage wine. If I came every other day, she'd bring out the good stock to keep me coming back. The trick was to make her wait. A man in District 12 named Xiao Xiaolong tried to assemble a 4-bus convoy of S-rank players in our merged region. He politely invited me to join, under his command. The world chat cackled at him. He went quiet. My old contact Sumeichi messaged not long after. Her bus had been hit by a ghost roadblock during the blood moon. 2 long stalls, 5 girls left out of 40+. She wanted to come aboard with what remained. I checked with the class. The only reservation was about strange men, but there were no men left on her bus. I told her to meet us at the next service area. We rolled into UXC service area at noon. Acid rain still kept the lots empty. Li Ruoyao and Lin Chuan were eating in the food hall when a ragged group of abandoned passengers, old, sick, missing limbs, tossed off other buses, approached and asked to be taken aboard. Lin Chuan refused them in a voice that left no room. The ones who abandoned them were their own drivers. The thing threatening their survival was this world. They had already had a long life. Don't take it from people who hadn't. They left without arguing. The food tasted like nothing for a while afterward. Yang Jackson pulled me aside near the bus mall and confessed. Said the dirty jokes and the snapping fingers and all the pointed glances had been a campaign for my attention since the start of the semester, and she was scared I'd written her off. I told her I never had, pulled her into my arms, and accepted. She pulled me into the hotel. Yin Shi, who I had asked to wait while I bought her a skill book at the bus mall, watched the kiss in horror, having genuinely thought I was inviting both of them upstairs. The skill book I'd bought her was Bloody Battle, silver mid-grade. Doubled max HP with a 50% attack speed and 30% healing buff. 15-minute duration when Yinshi used it because of lifesteal stacking. In the arena lobby, a woman in a gray shirt and black stockings, Gold Supreme Blade, S-rank swordsmanship grandmaster with 10-fold blade damage, challenged me to a friendly bet for 5,000 bus coins. Her name was Ye Wan Sing. She was a department manager from a real-world office, and she had no idea who she was looking at. I let her swing first, used flash, and choked her with the ghost hand from behind. She surrendered at the second squeeze and threw in a skill book called Yin Yang Reversal, Silver Supreme Grade. A player with a buff talent could activate it to invert any allied stat increase into a double debuff on enemies. Cooldown 15 minutes. Required stamina cost doubled too. Tailor-made for Yang Jackson. Back in the hotel, I gave Yang Jackson both the B rank upgrade card and Yin Yang Reversal at the same time. Her Constitution buff promoted to a rank attribute buff. Constitution, stamina, and agility up 50. With 20 more per 100 constitution she gained, plus a 10% damage reduction. Useful for me, useful for Li Ruyo, useful for everyone. Stack it with Yin Yang Reversal and she could blast 100 points off an enemy's constitution and add 20% damage on top of it. For drivers and percentage boost players, the effect would be catastrophic. Sumeichi's bus pulled up at the lot entrance. 5 girls climbed out into the rain. Sumeichi, S-rank ice element with an ice element module card stacked on top. Gold mid-grade elemental coat that boosted her elemental damage by 60% for normal players or 120% for elemental talent users. Gold high-grade elemental spirit staff that doubled as a spirit tool against ghosts. Lin Zihan, B-rank gigantification, same as Zhang Kake. Gao Lan, the tall one, A-rank self-healing recovering 20% per second. Yen Rong, the short one in glasses with the strategist's brain. And Xiao Jingyu with the twin tails. Lu Xiaoying decomposed Sumeichi's bus on the spot. The entire vehicle vanished and turned into a single bus heart, our 5th. Sumeichi handed over 30,000 bus coins from her balance. We drove away as a group. Over the next 24 hours, the bus quietly registered Late Mother, the 3 female tyrants, then Sumeichi's group as official passengers. Late Mother was so happy she nearly wept. Sumeichi kept her driver's constitution doubling privilege as a special concession from the Heavenly Dao, a small reward for protecting 4 passengers through her bus's wipeouts. I split the now 51 passenger roster into 10 groups. My own, Li Ruoyao, Lu Xiaoying, Zhang Keke, Lin Chuanan. Sumeichi's, Sister Jiang's, with Late Mother and the female tyrants. Luo Xiaoxie's, with Su Yuer, Yang Jaxin, Wang Jiaqi, Chen Tonger. Then Li Zhen's, Liu Shu Yue's, Wu Danden's, Zhou Qingqing's, Zhao Yuting's, and Yang Shungnan's. The strongest were 1 through 3. The weakest groups were going to need cultivation if we wanted to survive future blood moon nights. Out on the highway, the rain had started to ease. The The system flagged a new station type, multi-eyed ghost mandatory instance. A black vortex that opened into a large mining cave. Lin Chuan rated it medium. Easy for me, mental poison for everyone else. The multi-eyed ghost was a humanoid fierce ghost covered in eyeballs that drained mental strength on sight, and the cave was full of them, ranging from bronze to gold high grade for the boss. The cave was full of azure spirit stones, silver spirit stones, and gold ore. While Lin Chuan, Li Royao, and the rest mined near the entrance, I went deeper with Sumeichi, eyes shut, holding my hand for navigation, and late mother. Wave after wave of multi-eyed ghosts came out of the walls. Sumeichi froze them in sheets and I cleaned up with the golden AK and ghost hand. The boss, a true gold high-grade multi-eyed ghost, never showed itself. Lin Chuanan said the cave bottomed out so deep that her divine hint couldn't reach. Her sixth sense said, "Ask the Rain Woman directly." I burned 1,000 mental and summoned the Rain Woman's true body. She was almost shy when she materialized. Her only condition for helping was that if anyone or anything ever bullied her later, I would help. I told her I'd help her even without the favor. She smiled, dimples and all, and Longye Lake water began to pour into the cave from her hands. The water suppressed every multi-eyed ghost wherever it touched. She tracked the boss to the bottom of the cave, killed it with one stab of her umbrella, and returned with a treasure chest and 4 scarlet ghost eyeballs. I told her to keep 2 as compensation. She took them, smiled the dimple smile again, and dissolved into a puddle. Late mother possessed me again and I cleared every suppressed ghost on the way back. Server-wide announcement. First dungeon clear in Region 1-100. Reward. A gold ultimate grade skill book called Divine Quality Exchange. Swap your constitution and mental strength values. 10-second cooldown. Hard cap of 2,000 on either side. Made for Li Ruiao, who had been weakest against ghosts because of her low mental. Now she could just swap and become a ghost killer at will. She kissed me publicly for it. Final tally from the cave. 4,000 iron ingots, mostly common and black iron, hundreds bronze, dozens silver, 600 azure spirit stones, about 100 silver spirit stones, and 13 gold spirit stones. The silver and gold stones now met our requirements for upgrading the bust to level 9, plus around 700 ghost eyeballs. The female tyrant equipped a gold-grade ghost eyeball in each socket. A burst of golden light upgraded her quality outright. Constitution 1200, Agility 400, Stamina 400, Mental 500. Plus a ghost eye skill that subtracted 300 mental and stunned anyone below platinum for 3 seconds on a 1-minute cooldown. The other 2 female tyrants got silver ghost eyes. Chen Tonger's puppet got a gold eye, with everyone wearing 2 layers of black iron armor, and the female tyrant wearing 3 with a slight agility hit. Our melee front had become catastrophically dangerous. On the trading market, I sold the spare ghost eyes for 10,000 buses behalf. Asked about side effects, told me afterward that swapping eyes hurt like hell. Gave him 150 mental and partial spiritualization on his weapon, but added 1 curse per eyeball to his ledger. 2 points of curse is nothing, he said, and kept buying. He treated curse like a feature, not a bug. That was a clue. Lin Bufan bought another stick of incense in trade. The synthesizer cycled. 400 coins became thousands. That night, late mother stopped me at her bedroom door, looking small. She had made up her mind. She was my wife and she wanted to be a wife in every sense. I asked if she was sure. She said yes. The others were just girlfriends. If girlfriends could, a wife could too. Her body was cold and weightless. The next morning she was still calling me husband with a small flush of color in her face. I had to remind her that Li Royao was her elder sister, not a junior. She conceded reluctantly, only when I mentioned the ghost binding rope. Yan Rong, the strategist of Sumeichi's group, showed up at Sumeichi's door that same night and bluntly told her that intimacy with me was the path to inner circle resources, that Lu Xiaofeng and Lu Xiaoying had been cultivated past anyone with similar talent for the same reason, and that she was wasting her chance. Sumeichi hesitated. So did Wang Jiaqi, alone in her room looking jealously at young Jiaxin, who was bragging next door. So did Sister Jiang, pacing alone, holding the ghost binding rope, walking past late mother's door several times before turning back. So did Chen Tonger, alone on night watch. I noticed nothing. On my second visit to Qin Dromian on Lin Chunan's prescribed every other day rhythm, Qin Dromian was visibly relieved that I had come back at all. She had waited the entire previous day. She brought out 5 organs vitality wine, golden enhancing organ function, and adding 2 constitution per 10 bottles up to 20. I drained 115 bottles before she fell over the bar. She gave me 500 bottles to take home. I gave a bottle each to the human classmates. For late mother, Lin Hunan suggested using the ghost binding rope to materialize her, then feeding her a bottle. The constitution gain converted into mental strength gain on the way back into spirit form. 2 points each. Useful loophole. Mid-afternoon, mid-rain, a stalled bus blocked the road. Ragged players outside waved for help. Lin Qiwan saw the firearms stuffed into their backpacks and told us not to use repulsion. Their driver was Lin Xin, A-rank bus Bane, a talent that doubled the attribute points, and bus hearts dropped from any bus the holder wiped out, and that detected distance to the nearest bus. She was paired with another A-rank Heart Force Vehicle Mastery, which let one of her crew consume bus hearts to gain 20 random attribute points each. No upper limit. They had been highway pirating since the start. They unloaded everything they had at us. RPGs, AKs, M4s, and the diamond armor didn't even chip. 2 roof MP5s and 4 corpse-eating plants gunned half of them down. Su Meichi froze the rest before they could board their own bus. Lin Xin tried to surrender, offered herself in any role, claimed her bus Bane talent would be valuable if I kept her. I crushed her head with the ghost hand. We finished the rest. The system rewarded a complete no-loss wipe. 5 attribute points each, plus their bus turned ownerless and decomposed for 60 bus coins and 1 bus heart. That made our 6th bus heart. Their backpacks held 30 Desert Eagles, 13 AK-47s, 7 M4A1s, 5 infinite ammo gold-grade Gatling guns, 3 infinite ammo gold-grade rocket launchers, and a gold mid-grade permanent blueprint for universal bullets that consumed iron ingots instead of casings. 500 units of pork and beef in cold storage, fresh vegetables. They'd clearly looted a station armory at some point. I distributed the haul. Rocket launchers to Lu Xiaofeng, Lu Xiaoying, and Lu Xiaoxie. Gatling guns to Yang Jiaxin, Wang Jiaqi, Sister Jiang, Chen Tonger, and Su Yer. Rifles and pistols across everyone else. Bought 13 more shooting platforms for the roof. 15 total, 30 firing slots, and let the class cycle through target practicing on night demons. The girls fought for spots. The rain was tapering. Lin Qiwan said it would be gone by morning. The next station hit before we could enjoy that. UXC Post Station, a mandatory cooperative mission, high difficulty. We had to send 4 chosen plus 2 random people through to retrieve a letter alongside another bus. The other bus was called Ghost. Driver, Han Wensheng, S-rank Curse of the Deceased. Any of his passengers who died turned into a vicious ghost passenger with mental strength equal to their living constitution, and any normal skills converted to spirit-type skills. The cost was 1/10 of a curse point per ghost passenger, and his bus already sat at 4 curse. About 40 of the 90 souls on his bus were ghosts. Lin Qiwan eavesdropped from the radio before they arrived, and told us in chat what we were dealing with. The mission only allowed 6 per side. Han Wensheng paled, then pulled out 2 rows of pitch-black ghost dentures and ate 5 of his own ghost passengers alive with an ability called Ghost Devouring. They screamed for him not to do it. He ate them anyway. The dentures gave him a temporary mental strength boost equal to each consumed ghost's mental, capped at 5 ghosts, lasting 1 hour, with side effects. I took Lin Qiwan, Su Meichi, and Late Mother. The system random assigned Wang Jiazi and Lu Wei from Wu Danden's group. The male coach driver was a sunglassed administrator who answered no questions and took us through what felt like a transition between worlds, into a fog-dimmed mist forest. The fog drained 1/100% of HP per second. A preview, Lin Qiwan said, of the next disaster after rain. Fog disaster. The first wave were ghost willow branches, silver low-grade core branches dropping from invisible trees. Lin Qiwan one-shot the core branch with her golden desert eagle. 300 willow branches stayed harvestable as materials. Han Wensheng suggested we split. I agreed. He had a one-use ghost pointing needle on him, bought from Chu Che and trade for 6 unconscious Chang ghosts they picked off along the way. In a locust tree grove, the red ghost ropes dropped on us from every tree. 5 ropes I caught with the ghost hand. The 6th landed in Late Mother's hand by itself. Lin Qiwan said the rope was the core. The others were derivatives, and that this was Late Mother's exclusive weapon. The red ghost rope hung anything below 1,000 mental on contact, drained 500 mental from anything above, and could be upgraded to 1 tier higher when used by a bride-class ghost, which she was. She stared at the grove for a long moment, said the place felt familiar, then looked away. She gave the rope to me. I gave it back. Some weapons belonged to one person. The center of the forest was a graveyard. The target letter was pinned to the central tomb. Lin Qiwan foretold a Mistwoman clone, gold ultimate grade in strength even though it was just a clone, would spawn the moment I lifted the letter, and that hundreds of Chang ghosts in the surrounding tombstones would wait to attack after. Late Mother possessed me. I lifted the letter. The Mistwoman appeared behind me, pale woman in white, dagger, mist-bodied, capable of teleporting. I flashed up. She appeared above me. I caught her neck with a fully charged ghost hand, layered the bridal veil's red veil bewitchment to stun, and combined soul extinguishing technique with the bridal veil's beam. Her head shattered. She dropped a platinum lower-grade resource treasure chest, the first I'd ever seen. The ground exploded with hundreds of Chang ghosts. Su Meichi's frozen world was on cooldown. Wang Jiaqi refreshed it. Su Meichi froze the entire graveyard in one strike and nearly collapsed from the mental burn. I picked her up onto my back and we ran, killing scattered ghosts on the way. Han Wensheng's team caught up at the mail coach. He had survived, but 4 of his 5 teammates had died and turned into his ghost passengers en route. One of them, Chen Wei, the player who had questioned Lin Chuanan at the start. On the ride back, Lin Chuan tried divine hint on the silent driver. She couldn't read him outright, but she caught fragments of his interior monologue. The mist forest was just one of hundreds of similar disaster pockets. The next disaster after rain wasn't immediately fog, because fog was too deadly to drop yet. The letters connected to the actual disasters. He grew uneasy and stopped thinking too loudly. Reward: 10,000 bus coins each, plus titles. Mine, mail carrier ferryman. Let me run the mission once a week with my own pick of teammates and partner bus. Han got a smaller version, mail pioneer. 1 extra slot. We delivered the letter, said our goodbyes. Han Wensheng suggested wiping him out before he got bigger. I said no. He hadn't turned on us. Back home, I bought the dining car module. 8,000 bus coins, gold quality, 50 square meters of kitchen, 3 refrigerators, induction cookers, ovens, basic seasonings, 10 dining tables. Wu Dandan was the dorm chef and her 4 group mates could all cook. She took the chef's role with so much enthusiasm she nearly ran upstairs. Upgrading the dining car granted 10 bags of rice a day, then a bag of salt at the next tier. Combined with the 50 hens for my latest sign-in, 100 eggs a day, kept in a soundproofed farming room module, we had stable food for the first time since the world ended. The platinum lower-grade resource treasure chest from the Mistwoman cracked open into a platinum middle-grade vehicle blueprint, armored Iron Rider. A growth-type motorcycle with a built-in shield, 70% of bus armor scaling with rider constitution, a built-in MP5, 2 rider seats, and up to 5 appointed driver slots. Lu Xiaoying, A-rank mechanic, could craft it for free. She did in an hour. Server-wide announcement, first non-bus vehicle in Region 1, 100. My title count rose to 7. The new title was God of Racing, special quality mastery of any vehicle, unity of man and machine. I assigned the bike slots to Lu Xiaoying, Li Ruoyao, Lin Chunan, and held one for later, picturing Lin Chunan riding ahead of the bus to scout with divine hint while Li Ruoyao drove. Wu Dandan's first dinner came up. Golden egg fried rice, 2 woks of stir-fried vegetables, sliced beef and pork and light soy sauce. I told my group to eat without me. Wives, please excuse me for a moment. I'm going to keep Sister Jiang company. Lin Chuan winked. Li Ruoyao gave me the resigned look she gives when she's about to hand me to another wife. Lu Xiaofeng, Lu Xiaoying, and Zhang Kk sat very quietly thinking the word wides over. The road kept going. The rain was nearly out. Late mother sat next to me at the driver's seat and didn't say a word about anything strange. Outside, somewhere past the horizon, the next disaster was already getting ready. After late mother sat down beside her, Sister Jiang lasted about 3 minutes before assuming I was hitting on her. She had been working herself up over our breakfast for hours. I'd only sat down to keep her company, but the way she stammered out that becoming her boyfriend wouldn't really be appropriate. Counselor and student, all that made me realize she'd already pictured the whole thing in her head. I told her she was reading too much into it. Her face went red and she didn't speak for the rest of the meal. Lin Xuan watched the entire performance through divine hint and bit the inside of her cheek to keep from laughing. Lu Xiaoying took me to the 3rd floor for the weekly mechanic modification on the armored Iron Rider. The choices were bullet combustion, bullets ignite and spread fire to up to 5 nearby enemies, or bullet penetration, pierce 3 units. I took combustion, 11,000 bus coins and 10 burning potions, and the motorcycle's MP5 rounds turned into rolling fire. After that, I took Lin Chuanan out for a scouting ride. The bike's blue-white shield held against acid rain, liquor tongues, and night demon swarms. With our averaged constitution above 500, the shield's defense scaled cleanly. Out in the wilderness, we stumbled into a slime zombie nest, masses of mucus that wanted to merge into one giant ball. So I lit the corpse-burning candle and used Incinerate All again. Curse rose to 2. 40-some slime balls, bronze peak quality, blueprints unknown, dropped at the edge of the fire. Lin Chunan reminded me later that the wilderness areas off the highway are their own ecosystem, like the fierce ghost areas, just less obviously branded as dangerous. Back on the bus, I summoned a Rain Woman avatar to ask about the Mist Woman from the post mission. She confirmed it. She, the Mist Woman, and a Snow Woman who was born long ago are all disaster-fierce ghosts, born during their respective disasters, all with terrifying growth. The next disaster after rain isn't fog though. Fog is too lethal to drop on us yet. Her hint was a single word: change. Lin Chunan worked the rest out at the dinner table. Snow turned to rain when the temperature went up. Rain will turn to fog when temperature rises further, so the next disaster is high temperature, and the one after that is fog. Yan Rong agreed. We started preparing for heat. That night, Yang Jiaxin shoved Wang Jiaqi at me as they passed through the corridor and announced she was handing her best friend over for the evening. Wang Jiaxin, blushing, said she liked me and that she didn't want to feel sour about Jiaxin getting there first. I took her in. Luo Xiaoxue stood in the corridor afterward, fists clenched, planning to be next. Day 22 sign-in offered a title slot increase from 5 to 7. I took it without thinking. With mail carrier ferryman, 1,000-cup drunkard, and the new god of vehicles already crowding my 5 active slots, having room to grow mattered more than another item. Far from us, Xiao Long led his 300-strong 8-bus convoy into a dungeon at Longyue Lake. They didn't know it was the Rain Woman's territory. His S-rank bus-link talent let him merge any consenting bus into one fleet, equalize their levels at the average, share upgrade costs, and stack 3 constitution, agility, and stamina per linked bus to himself. He had a second S-rank, Wang Zigao's Ghost Extinguishing Flame, black fire that burned spirits but couldn't touch physical creatures. 3A rank, 5B rank, 3 more lesser talents. On paper, an enormous force. They sent a D-rank master swimmer in to test the lake. A zombie arm dragged him under and he sank. Wang Zigao's flame did nothing because the arm was a zombie's, not a ghost's. They settled in to wait 3 hours for the dungeon clear. The Rain Woman heard them planning to use ghost candles to lure her out and kill her, and called me through the heart of the Rain Woman. Late Mother possessed me. The Rain Woman pulled me down through the lake water, and we surfaced beside their fight. Wang Zigao saw a man in a red wedding dress floating in midair with a rifle and didn't have time to use his flames. Soul extinguishing layered with the bridal veil's beam went straight through his head. The ghost hand caught Wen Ruanqing's neck before she could light the ghost candle. The Rain Woman split into avatars and pierced skulls with black umbrellas. The rest I cut down with a golden AK. The whole convoy, 300 souls, ended in minutes. Some of them shouted that I was a player helping fierce ghosts kill humans. I didn't bother explaining. Wang Zigao's body and Xiao Long's body each dropped an S-rank talent card fragment beside them. That was new. Killing an S-rank player drops a fragment. I picked them up quietly and decided not to share that intel with anyone. With the 2 from earlier and the 4 I had banked, I now held 7 fragments toward a new S-rank talent. 3 more and I could synthesize. The convoy's backpacks were a disappointment because their good gear was mostly back on their abandoned buses, far from the dungeon. Still, I pulled a gold high-grade machete called the Sunder Gold Blade off Xiao Long, a silver Supreme Silver Spirit Axe off Wang Zigao, and a pair of gold low-grade golden patterned haste boots that fed 3 agility and 20% attack speed for 5 minutes when activated. The boots fit me. I gave the Silver Spirit Axe to Li Royao and let her old silver inscribed sword roll down to Yin Shi. Then the rain stopped. The clouds split, sunlight punched through, and the Rain Woman lit up blue-white as she broke through to platinum low-grade. For a few seconds her face went tyrant cold, and I genuinely braced for a fight, but her eyes warmed up again and she walked into my arms and kissed me. The heart of the Rain Woman around my neck upgraded to platinum mid-grade. 4 avatars now instead of 3. Gold high-grade strength, 15-minute durations, hour-long cooldowns. Her true body could be summoned for 30 minutes off 1,000 mental, on a 48-hour cooldown. A new third ability let me summon Longyue Lake water itself in narrow terrain, charged at 1 curse per minute past the first 24-hour cooldown. She still wouldn't board the bus. Longyue Lake was her source of strength now, and the Heavenly Dao wouldn't let her abandon the dungeon. But if I gave the heart of the Rain Woman to Lin Xuan or one of the others, her avatar could ferry me back and forth through the lake water. We agreed I'd help her any time players came to Longyue Lake to bully her, and that she'd kill those players and leave their loot for me. Her conditions for getting on the bus permanently were left for later. Some way to bind the bus to the lake water that didn't depend on the necklace. Trip back. Curse stat sat at 3. That evening the bus stalled and the chickens in the farming room turned into a problem. They wouldn't fit in the personal backpack because they were alive. So I shoved them into rice sacks, listed them on the bus mall at 100,000 bus coins per bag, and used the trade post slots as free temporary storage. Other drivers saw it and figured out the trick. We got off and cleared a 100-meter radius around the bus during the 1-hour stall. 3 female tyrants and the puppets in front. Li Royao with sky-opening palm clearing the middle. Su Meiqi freezing flanks. The rocket launcher girls, Liu Xiaofeng, Liu Xiaoxue, bombing the back. Almost a 100-meter sweep. A black iron treasure chest in the hall dropped 2 common quality skill upgrade cards. I gave one to Li Royao for her enhanced strike, now black iron, and one to Liu Xiaoxue for Willowwood entanglement. The chickens came out of the bus mall alive and slightly traumatized. Day 23 sign-in had a cursed permanent station option. 1 curse per visit, with terrifying entities likely inside. I took it. The result was the Moon Spirit Pawn Shop, a station with a faceless shadow shopkeeper behind a counter stacked with yellow papers. The deal: pick a paper, the front says the reward, the back says the task. If you fail the task, you get 1 chance to re-roll, and if you fail that, the shopkeeper kills you. I watched another driver named Zhao Jun discover a loophole. If the shopkeeper is about to kill you, you can offer your own life as a new trade for a new task, and exploit the cycle indefinitely. He used it to save himself but threw his classmate Chen Lily to the wolves to do it. There was a paper offering an S-rank talent upgrade card for 7 disaster fierce ghost treasure chests in 2 months. Extreme difficulty, impossible for now. I took the lower tier paper instead. Once ranked talent card fragment for killing 3 platinum quality task creatures within 13 days, medium difficulty. With the sword-wielding zombie probably about to cross my path, manageable. I now held 7 S-rank fragments, 3 more and I could build a new talent. Visited Qin Zhuomian afterward. She knew about the pawn shop and warned me. Curse can be removed but the cost is high, and if I get into real trouble with the shopkeeper she might be able to negotiate me out. Today's wine was energy wine. Bronze mid-grade, 20 stamina and 20 mental per bottle. She wouldn't give me the 5 times reward this time because she'd realize she'd just lose every solo bet. The whole class drank with me. Lo Xiaoxiu sobered the drunk ones. 200 bottles of energy wine to take home, plus a standing offer of help from the most powerful administrator I'd met. That afternoon the system flagged Mid-Month Plaza, a 4-floor mall like a Wanda back home, with another bus already inside. The bus's owner was Ma Wanqing, 29. The youngest professor at the Beijing Science Academy of Geography. S-rank infinite corrosion. Black mist that ate everything including spirits, scaling on constitution and stamina. She tried to lecture me into leaving, and only let us in when she saw the 3 female tyrants and the puppets line up behind us. The first 3 floors were already cleared. The 4th floor held a sword-wielding zombie, platinum low grade, breaking toward platinum mid, 2800 constitution, 0 mental, with 2 platinum skills, instant shadow slash and piercing sword chi, and a crimson longsword that radiated pressure. It couldn't descend below the 4th floor. Lin Xuan ran the plan. Yang Jaxin opened with yin-yang reversal, stripping 100 constitution and stamina off it and adding 20% damage taken. Su Meiqi cast Frozen World. Wang Jiaxi refreshed it for the 2nd round. Li Ruoyao Savage charged in, powerful strike plus half-moon cleave, through sky-opening palm. I stabbed the Sunder Gold Blade into its head, and the critical hit attribute fired for the first time since I unlocked it. 6% of the boss's HP gone in 1 strike. The 4 Rain Woman avatars piled their black umbrellas into its torso. Ma Wanqing's black mist wrapped its head. Jiang Ningyue threw a greater fireball when control broke. The sword wielder tried to use piercing sword chi on Li Ruoyao. She summoned a paper effigy that ate the strike. The wall behind her split open. She lost 1 curse for using the skill. I blocked the next strike with the Sunder Gold Blade and the impact cracked it almost in half. Late Mother's Reg Veil bought time. The final ghost hand piercing its head landed exactly 15 seconds after the start, just as it was about to use instant shadow slash. Dead. The corpse dropped a platinum low-grade resource treasure chest, the bone sword of the dead. Platinum low-grade virus on hit deters every zombie below platinum. And sword wielder's dead bones, platinum quality material that fed to a sub-platinum physical creature 100 at a time, would transform it into a new sword wielder. We had 30-some bones. I gave Ma Wanqing 8 as her share. The chest opened into the bone spear, matching the sword given to Li Ruoyao. The piercing sword chi skill book, platinum low-grade 18-second cooldown. I learned it myself. 20 gold vein stones, and over 500 silver vein stones. With those, plus the silver spirit stones from earlier, the bus's level 9 upgrade requirements were finally complete. Ma Wanqing apologized for lecturing me, added me as a friend, and went pale when she saw Gu Pingsheng appear in her contacts. She'd been arguing with the world's #1 driver. We agreed to share the plaza for a day. Too many supplies to take in one pass. I sold goods on the bus mall at 20% below market, hand-typing trade posts as fast as I could. Brand-name food, bagged cooked meat, drinks, fresh raw beef and seafood from the buffet. Reputation as a trader carried me. Players bought everything. Late at night, I caught Sister Jiang carrying 10 cases of water up to the bus and took them out of her arms. We ended up alone in a corner of the 3rd-floor supermarket. I held her hand. She glanced around. I leaned in and she said don't, so I let go and picked up a stack of cereal boxes from the floor instead. She stood there with her eyes closed for a second longer than she needed to. Walking away, she finally said, "After the Blood Moon Day, find me." Lin Chunan and Li Ruoyao were watching from behind a shelf the entire time. Lin Chunan whispered to Ruoyao what Sister Jiang had actually been thinking. Too many things to repeat, and they ran off when I noticed. Day 24 sign-in dropped a gold mid-grade spiritual thunderstrike skill book. 3-second stun against gold or below, 4 against spirits with extra 50% damage, 20-second cooldown. Made for Li Ruoyao now that she had divine quality exchange. She finally had a way to spend her swap 2000 mental on actual ghost-killing damage. The bus rebuilt. Bus heart count crept up to 5 after Lu Xiaoying decomposed Su Meiqi's old bus. I pushed the bus to level 9, 120 by 30 meters, 3 full floors plus a dimensional fourth, top speed 150 kilometers per hour, durability 90-20 minute stall safety. The level up function was refresh, a 96-hour cooldown that resets every other bus function including ignition. Then I bought the 4-story bus blueprint, then the 5-story, 40 warehouses up the sidewalls of the 4th floor, all upgraded to silver. The 5th floor too, mostly empty until we had time to fill it. Wu Danan's dining car got refrigerator upgrades. Zhao Yuting's group of 5 took over supply organization. Categorize, restock, run the new in-bus mini supermarket. Yan Rong's idea, have Ruo Yao and the gigantification girls move whole shelves down at once, then everyone else strips them while the next shelf came down. Zhao Yuting tried to seduce me on the 3rd floor. Heavy makeup, low-cut top, miniskirt, told me she was a virgin and wanted to be a girlfriend. I left. Lin Chuan caught up to her and explained what was wrong. Not the makeup, not the figure, but the cheapness. Zhao Yuting toned herself down by morning. Barely any makeup, simpler skirt, and went back to organizing without another word. Ma Wanxing came over before her bus left and asked if her whole institute could join the safe. I said only her and Xu Wenwen. The rest of her institute was full of male players. She wouldn't abandon her colleagues, so we parted ways. Lin Xuanan watched her bus disappear and predicted out loud that Ma Wanxing would be back after a few stalls. Stocking up. The bus's 4th and 5th floors became long-term warehouses. Supplies enough for 2 years even with no resupply. Lin Xuan worked out a theory looking at expiration dates. Every supply we'd been finding in this world, convenience stores, supermarkets, gas stations, even my sign-in McDonald's, was leftover material from Earth that had transmigrated alongside the players. The Heavenly Dao didn't create matter from nothing. The 3rd Blood Moon Night dropped at 6. Survival rate now 800 million globally, under a tenth of the original 10 billion still alive. New rules. Maximum monster quality is set by the average of the top 3 buses, so the ceiling rises with us. Wiping out other buses pays 5 times the constitution, and bus hearts and double their points. Cooperative stations may now match buses across regions anywhere on the planet, and the Soul Road can spawn, an isolated stretch of highway where buses meet a soul station holding their own dead passengers as ghosts. Bring a soul back and the driver eats 10 curse. The soul might lose control, but a supernatural event triggers and there's good loot. Ignore the soul and it dissipates forever. Almost everyone in class thought of Huang Ting at the same moment. Yang Jiaxin had stripped down to a swimsuit, said it was hot, said the windows were one way anyway, said she might catch my eye. Half the class found excuses to follow suit. Huang Jihan stood there honestly confused. First major encounter, a Titan zombie, gold ultimate grade 3500 constitution, 7 or 8 meters tall. Lin Xunan looked through it and saw a platinum low-grade possessing ghost king inside, a soul-bound parasite that couldn't change bodies once chosen. Its presence gave the zombie's body partial spiritualization. That meant my instant ghost barrier breaker title. Collision damage doubled against spiritual entities. In exchange for 1 curse per gold or higher kill, would actually apply to a physical creature for once. Plan. Pre-attack with everything spirit side, then ram with acceleration plus the spiritualization function plus the title. The pre-attack landed in 1 beat. Soul Extinguishing, Ghost Hand, Red Veil Bewitchment, Icebird Impact, Spiritual Thunderstrike, Li Ruoyao, 2000 mental via Divine Quality Exchange. Yang Jiaxin's full debuff. Zhang Keke hit the gas. The bus phased halfway into a spirit and rammed 300 kilometers an hour. The Titan zombie exploded apart with the possessing Ghost King crushed inside it. 300,000 points for the supernatural event tier kill plus the zombie itself. World number 1 by a margin so wide it embarrassed the rest of the leaderboard. The drops were absurd. A platinum low-grade chest with 2B ranked talent upgrade cards inside. I gave 1 to Zhang KK, gigantification to A rank, max 5 times size, 5 times constitution, lower stamina cost. And 1 to Wang Jiati, cooldown refresh to A rank permanent refresh. Can permanently have any 1 skill or function's cooldown into a 2-charge stored format. Locks her out of her own talent for a week per use. Wang Jiatzi shouted, "Class monitor husband, I love you," in front of everyone. Zhang Keke followed, weakly. Half the class cheered. Chen Tonger and Lin Zihan stood quietly in the back recalculating their odds. Wang Jiaqi spent her first permanent refresh on the refresh function itself, meaning we now get 1 refresh charge every 48 hours, can store up to 2. Stack that with ignition and we can press ignition 4 times in a row in an emergency. The gold ultimate grade chest opened to a permanent skill book. Power of the Nether Titan. Gold mid-grade. Doesn't disappear after being learned. 3-hour learn time. 100-second cooldown, removes all negative status on use, then enhances the next 3 attacks with Titan power, making each one capable of damaging spiritual entities even from non-spirit weapons. Every passenger on the bus could learn it, including late mother and the female tyrants. 8 a day, 3 hours each. The whole class would have it inside a week. Li Royale went first. Then the Soul Road opened. Bus quietly transitioned into a black sky and a black wilderness. Lin Qiunan called it. 10 minutes later, a station, and on the steps, Huang Ting. Her face had gone properly dead. The pawnshop yellow paper had taught us that bringing a soul on board adds 10 curse, but killing a soul drops loot, and Lin Qiunan's hunch said this kill would pay better. We stopped the bus. Huang Ting stood there and started complaining that Lin Qiunan should apologize to her. A transparent ghost, gold low-grade materializes only when attacking, appeared next to her to ambush us. Jian Ningyue ghostbound it, Li Royale spiritual thundered it, and a gold treasure chest dropped. Then the ghost hand crushed Huang Ting's skull while she was still mid-sentence about Sister Jiang saving her. 2 black sticks of wandering soul incense fell beside her body. Gold low-grade Ghostmaster craft. Light it next to a corpse and the dead person's soul returns under your command, for up to 10 minutes. Lin Qiunan was right. A C-rank fragment couldn't compete with that. Down the highway, similar moments were playing out on other buses. Most ignored the soul stations. A few drivers stopped to bring back loved ones, and at least one of them was instantly torn apart by a powerful ghost ambushing the soul. Ma Wanqing's bus reached a soul station holding her late student Lu Tao. She steeled herself and drove past while one of her younger researchers begged for her to stop. Lu Tao's soul cursed her, then thanked her, then dissipated. She glanced at Xu Wenwen sitting beside her, and didn't say what she was thinking. The chat channel filled with foreigners' incidents. Chu Che ran into a Japanese bus at a cooperative mission, had a dispute, killed every one of them, and walked out with 25 attribute points and 5 bus hearts. Plenty of other drivers had similar stories. First-time encounters with foreign buses going south fast. A 15-minute stall while John Keke was learning the new skill barely registered. Late mother phased through a wall and yanked out a shadow ghost. Silver low-grade steals shadows from the living until the victim becomes a shadow ghost themselves. Li Royao's spiritual thundered it dead. Slaughter station after. Supernatural events constantly. Points crossed 450,000. Then the system flagged photo studio in the moon. A mandatory cooperative mission station. This time genuinely cross-region. Inside, a yellow-lit old building with a crowd that turned out to be Major General Li Lijun's guard the Great Wall. Li Lijun, S-rank golden light flicker in full uniform, with a gold cloak. Wu Gang at A-rank radar, his minor version of Divine Hint. Huang Jiqiang, S-rank steam emissary. High-temperature steam clones that evaporate spirits and physical creatures alike, scaling on stamina, duration, and constitution. Heat. 3 more A-ranks, plus a healing spell match for Luo Xiaoxue. 500 passengers in total, almost all refugees Li Luzhun had picked up from buses that abandoned them. Li Luzhun came up to me directly and called me Captain Gu. Wu Gang's radar had already told him I was the strongest in the room, and the bus must be safe. We shook hands. Mission rules. 5 chosen plus 3 random per side. 16 people total. Take a strange camera-shaped van to a small world. Photograph a fierce ghost. Leave the photo in an envelope at the photo location. Return. I picked Li Ruiyao, Lin Chuanen, late mother Su Meiqi. The dice gave us Liu Xiaofang, Yang Shengman, and Du Lin from Zhou Qingqing's group. Li Lujun took Wu Gang, Huang Jiqiang, 2 A-rank combatants, and 3 random refugee players, a young woman, an older woman, and a man named Wang Qi. The Spectre camera was special quality. Function unknown. Lin Chuanen's divine hint hit a wall. Li Lijun asked to carry it himself. If photographing a ghost made the ghost retaliate, he wanted the hit. Lin Xiunan privately told me to give it up. She felt the camera was bad news. I handed it over. The driver of the camera van was a hunched old administrator in sunglasses. He pressed a shutter on his own chest camera. The world washed white, and we arrived in Misty Town, a small world of fog and red moonlight, definitely tied to the Mist Woman. Lin Xiunan reasoned out the full chain right there. The post-mission system has 3 legs. Take photos, leave photos in envelopes. Pick up envelopes from graveyards, develop or process them. Deliver letters from those graveyards back to the post stations. Putting disaster-fierce ghosts into the survival world stage by stage, carried by photographs and letters. The Mist Woman didn't want to come. She called the survival world hell, said other disaster ghosts feared it. Why the Rain Woman had been so warm to me from the start clicked into place. She had wanted to gain a foothold here without being killed. The fog drained 0.01% HP per second. Manageable for us, dangerous for the refugees. Li Lijun took point for the Chang ghost waves with his golden light. Wu Gang's radar pointed us toward the strongest signature, assumption being the Mist Woman's true body. Half an hour in, the female refugee on Li Lujun's side suddenly drew a dagger and stabbed him. He blocked with golden light. Lin Qian had called it a heartbeat earlier. The woman had already been silently replaced by a mist woman clone, somehow swapped out under the fog cover. Li Lujun killed the false replacement. The old woman wept silently when she realized her colleague was already dead. The mist woman's voice rolled through the fog, complaining that we'd broken into her territory and she was simply defending herself. Then her clone vanished into mist, swearing to kill every one of us. She was right, in her own frame. We were the intruders. But mandatory was mandatory. Half an hour later, the older woman from Li Lejun's side was replaced too. Yang Shengnan came within a heartbeat of being the third. A wisp of cold touched her back. Her body locked. Her health crashed to zero. The Blood Moon Lord life-saving immunity caught her at 50%. She survived but spent her one fatal damage immunity for the night. Lin Qiunan had it figured out by then. The Mist Woman targets only female players on a roughly 30-minute interval, and only those with low enough mental strength to be silently replaced. The pattern fit precisely. One more attempt and someone on our side without Yang Shengnan's luck would die. Then she suggested we send the Rain Woman out to negotiate. Lin Qiunan's idea was simple. Send the Rain Woman out to talk to the Mist Woman directly. I summoned her true body through the heart of the Rain Woman. Major General Li Lujun watched a fierce ghost coalesce out of lake water in front of him, and accepted, wary but pragmatic, that I had a working trump card. The Rain Woman explained quickly. The Mist Woman was refusing the Heavenly Dao summons, which was why these missions even existed. She had grown stronger since the rain ended, while the Mist Woman had already lost most of her power to the photos and envelopes already taken. She put the heart of the Rain Woman around her neck and flooded the streets of Misty Town. Chang ghosts dragged into the lake water became hers. The Mist Woman's clone appeared in the air, called the Rain Woman a ghost traitor, then fell silent when the Rain Woman coldly informed her that any disaster ghost who refused the summons would arrive in hell late and grow weaker for it. The Mist Woman walked out of the fog in person, platinum high grade in true form according to Lin Qiuan, though clone tier in practice given how much of her had already been stripped, and let Major General Li Lujun take her photograph. She glared the entire time. We left the envelope on the ground. Reward: 50,000 bus coins, 100,000 points, 3 Mist Woman clone summoning cards, platinum low grade, single-use 10-minute combat, and the title Photo Studio Ferryman, 1 mission a week of my own choosing with 1 extra teammate slot and the option to pick the partner bus or random match. Li Lujun's hull was lower because most of the actual work had been mine and the Rain Woman's. We added each other as friends. He made it clear he would only take the photo missions if forced. Every photo accelerated a new Calamity Ghost's arrival in our world, and he didn't want a hand in it. Fair enough. The phase vehicle driver answered one piece of trivia on the way back. Any vehicle stalls, no exceptions including his. Anything alive on a stalled bus dies, except for unmatured crops planted in resting soil, which finally explained why our logging factory and cultivation room never went brown after a stall. Resting soil keeps seeds and immature plants in stasis. Eggs probably the same. Mature crops, hens, players, those die. On the way back to our own highway, Lin Qiuan flagged a platinum low-grade witch zombie in the wilderness. Low agility, with a platinum low witch's staff that fired non-targeted spirit orbs and a witch's robe that resisted spirit attacks but folded under physical hits. 2-person job, me on the back of the bike, Lin Qiunan steering, full battle intent stack. We circled at distance and I cut her in half over 8 piercing sword chi swings, taking 4 shield hits along the way. The robe and staff dropped. The staff cost 50 stamina per cast. No cooldown, but I could only fire 10 or so before running dry. The robe was a stronger version of the red bridal gown without the stun. Points crossed 600,000. 6 in the morning, the third blood moon ended. Final scores. Safe at 612,300. An American bus called Los Santos at 434,500. Major General Li Lujun's Guard the Great Wall at 397,800. The reward bundle was the biggest yet. Every passenger pulled 70 regular and 30 special attribute points, plus 30 inventory slots. My backpack jumped to 200 slots. Stall safety stretched to 25 minutes. 2 D-rank talent upgrade cards, 2 C-rank talent upgrade cards, and 1 S-rank talent card fragment, now 8 of 10, 2 more and I synthesize. 2 random talents to drop on the bus. And, biggest line, every passenger received a gold low-grade weapon from the gold spirit set. The driver got 10 luck and my maximum health doubled to 200%. With battle intent at peak, my constitution would now sit above 2,000 and my effective HP twice that. The 2 new talents were both useful. Sister Jiang drew A-rank gravitational control. Doesn't replace her telekinesis, stacks with it. She can pull anything toward her, scaling on constitution for physical and on mental for spirit. Stack the 2 in the control field doubles. Huang Zihan, of all people, drew B rank flight, pure white wings, 3 times agility while airborne. Yang Jaxin immediately suggested Sister Jiang ride Huang Zihan into the air, drag enemies up with gravity, and drop them. The 4 upgrade cards went to Lu Shumeng, immovable as a mountain to B-rank mountain suppressor, 400% constitution standing still, 100% passive boost moving, basically the same break as gigantification but anchored. Xiao Meng Qi, self-destruction radius 10 meters to 100 meters, still suicide unfortunately. Su Yuer, ragdoll cat to C-rank white shadow cat, doubled agility plus 10% constitution while transformed, and a fresh D-rank talent I synthesized for Chen Xiaoan and Li Zhen's group, then upgraded to C-rank Blade Edge, 5 blades growing from anywhere on her body, scaling with Constitution. She wasn't impressed because the Gold Spirit Blade outdamaged her own talent. For now, we agreed it'd grow. Attribute Pass Constitution officially crossed 1,000 for me. Mental 2334, critical hit 4%, luck 23, curse 4. 9 title slots in use, 7 active. The world updated again. Monster speeds rose from 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. Supernatural events stopped being Blood Moon only. Service area prices jumped from 1 to 10 coins per person. And regions merged in groups of 500. We were now Region 1500, basically the Pearl River Delta. A driver named Mo Tian Chang, from a bus called Sky Territory, ranked 25 globally, used his merge debut to talk down at safe, said our top finish was luck. Han Wensheng, Chu Che, and Ma Wenqing all walked into the chat and lit him up. He stopped talking. Lin Chuan flagged a private piece of intel later. Mo Tian Chang was internally plotting to use some item he had on him to control my people if our paths crossed. Day 25, sign and let me trade for a flat 10 kilometers per hour bus speed boost. Top speed 170 kilometers per hour, almost certainly the fastest globally. We hit a service area. Sister Jiang followed me to the bus mall, finally relaxed enough to call me husband once we were alone. I bought her a silver high-grade silk entanglement skill. 15-second cooldown, sticky resilient threads, doubled effect for control talent users like her, plus a stack of silver-grade combat skills for Li Zhen, Lu Shumeng, Lin Zihan, and the rest of the second-tier combatants. Then we went upstairs. Outside, the arena was getting interesting. A pack of actual elementary school students walked in. Class monitor-type girl with twin pigtails and a black dagger. Vice monitoring glasses with a high IQ face, plus assorted small kids carrying weapons too big for them. The class monitor's name was Zheng Xiaomu, S-rank 5 senses deprivation. She could strip up to 5 senses from 1 target or 1 sense from 5 targets. 10-minute cooldown each, 5-minute duration. She instantly killed a burly A-rank with an axe by stripping every sense, then methodically stabbing his head, neck, heart, and lower vital. The vice monitor was Li Tiantian, A-rank high intelligence, doubling as their commander. They had 2 more A ranks back on their bus. I declined a one-on-one with Jiang Xiaomu. Lin Qianan had read out exactly how that fight would end if I tried. Lin Qianan instead walked over to Li Tiantian at the game zone with 100,000 bus coins of mine. Number bomb first to bait, she lucked guest to quick win. Then Shang-Chi for 20,000 bus coins, where she deliberately lost to keep Li Tiantian's competitive streak burning. Then go for stakes that emptied the elementary bus's coin reserve. 80,000 to us. Li Tiantian sat in a corner afterward drinking beer and crying about her IQ being insulted. Jiang Xiaomu hugged her. Lin Xuan walked out with 230,000 total. Other players caught on by the end and stopped playing her. She still came out enormously ahead. Day 26 sign-in dropped a fire element module card, gold quality plus 150% fire damage. I banked it for the corpse burning lighter. Visited Qin Zhuomian for vigor wine, bronze quality plus 100 constitution for 10 minutes per bottle. 300 bottles distributed mostly to scaling combatants, given to Li Royale with a wine and an adrenaline potion, and Yang Jackson's buff stacked her constitution ceiling crossed 4,000. Lu Xiaoying ran her 3 weekly mods at once. Fuel consumption down to 40%, a silencer added to mute the bus, and a massage function on the seats. Lu Xiaofeng's new weekly potion was freezing potion. Gold low, 50 gin of ice plus 500 mental per dose. Su Meichi made the ice in seconds with a tap of the spirit staff. The high temperature disaster started biting after lunch even with the air conditioner running. I dropped 100,000 bus coins on the AC module, central purification air conditioning, diamond grade blocks toxic gases and viruses, dehumidifies plus 30% stamina/mental recovery just for being inside. The next upgrade tier, 300k, adds 1% HP/SCC recovery for everyone in the bus. That second tier is going to be the answer to the fog disaster when it hits. Fog drains health by breath, but a level 2 diamond AC isolates the gas and regenerates faster than the drain. I made a mental note to broadcast that on the chat channel when the time came. Reputation play. Late afternoon, I burned the male ferryman title for a solo random match. Solo gives a 50% reward bonus and no random strangers as teammates risk. The destination turned out to be Misty Town again, in person this time. No Major General Li Luzhen. The male coach driver was the same sunglassed administrator who recognized me on sight. The Heart of the Rain Woman was on cooldown, so the Rain Woman wasn't coming to bail me out. I went in with Li Ruoyao and Late Mother only, leaving Lin Chunan, Su Meiqi, Sister Jiang, and Yang Jiaxin at the post station. The Mist Woman appeared at our shouting. I leaned hard on threats, that I'd flood her town with the Heart of the Rain Woman, that I'd misused the Mist Woman clone summoning card she dropped me last time, that I had ghost-repelling incense and ghost candles on hand. She stewed, accepted a gold spirit axe as a tribute gift, and walked us to the envelope. Lin Chunan had warned me through chat. The photo clone inside the envelope attacks regardless of the main body's intentions. The instant I lifted the envelope, a fresh murderous Mist Woman clone phased in behind me. I drank a bottle of Lincoln wine for an 80% dodge on her first 3 attacks, used the permanent skillbook power of the Nether Titan to convert my next 3 strikes into spirit damage, drew the Bone Sword of the Dead, and swung Piercing Sword Chi at her. The strike hit a clone with no time to teleport. She came apart. The sword Chi continued past her and split the ground and several houses behind her into a deep crack. The original Mist Woman clone watching the fight had been jeering up to that point. After that swing, she went silent. I walked over to the envelope with the platinum chest she had dropped, told her she was cute when angry, and walked out. She cursed at us the entire way to the gate. Reward at the post station, 15,000 bus coins, 3 more Mist Woman clone summoning cards, now 4 total, and a 9th title, Calamity Buster, 10% reduced damage from calamity effects on me, 10% more damage I deal to calamity ghosts. A new staff member came down the post station stairs after the rewards posted. A high ponytail woman in a uniform marked post station, named Wang Shi. She was the second floor administrator, only visible to drivers who had perfect cleared 2 missions. Her explanation cleared up the whole post station system. There are 3 categories of fierce ghosts. Original ghosts native to this world, reincarnated ghosts transformed from other beings, humans included, and derivative ghosts sit in their own bucket. They're characteristically both original and reincarnated. Each batch of players has its own set. A flame woman in the previous batch, a flame man in ours. No shared memory between the two. The post stations exist to push calamity ghosts and other deep area of fierce ghosts into our world via envelopes and photographs, which is why the missions exist. The second floor of the post station carried higher tier missions. Kill the fierce ghost, deliver the envelope deep into a fierce ghost area, and only ferryman title drivers could accept them. And the monsters chasing the bus paused while we did. In-stations and theater stations are also new mission types tied to that system. The most pointed thing she said was the connection between our 2 main monster types. Zombies are bodies without souls. Fierce ghosts are souls without bodies. The unspoken half, where the bodies and souls come from, was that we and our predecessors are the source. Survival world is a goo-rearing pit. We already suspected it. Wang Shi just confirmed it. Loot from the platinum chest, a pair of platinum low-grade spirit claws, like brass knuckles with 5 sharp talons each, capable of damaging spirits. Tailor-made for Zangkeke's gigantification. At 5 times scale, the claws scale with her, and she becomes a melee bruiser at her gold tier ceiling. Late Mother sensed her sister's birth shortly after. 3-way fork in the road. Left was the highway, right was a manor, middle was Helen Ancient Town. Stone tablet at the entrance read betrothal. Gu Pingsheng and Lu Xuniang. I lost 13 mental from witnessing the eerie sight and ignored it. Lin Chuanon eavesdropped on the radio. The new Ghost Bride's interior monologue confirmed she was a yandere, wanted to eat me bite by bite and sleep on a bed made from my bones, but loved me unreservedly. Late Mother had been the same way at the start. We went in heavy this time, most of the class, leaving 1 puppet and 1 female tyrant on the bus. Cleared the streets one-shotting chain ghosts, picked up the wedding candy drops on the way. The ghost hand from Helen's main hall showed up again, and dropped a silver mid ghost hand skill book once Lin Chun pinpointed its core. I gave it to Late Mother to learn, since she'd registered as a player, and could now learn skills, and probably accept talent cards too, a thread to pull on later. The new ghost matchmaker was gold low this time, with a wooden man dodge instead of a paper man dodge, and a threat. He was a member of the Ghostmaster organization. Killing him meant offending it. I killed him anyway. He dropped a gold low woodman summon, same idea as Li Royale's paperman summon, but the wooden duplicate inherits the user's full attributes for 10 minutes, 15-minute cooldown, and only 1 curse per 2 deaths instead of 1 per use. I gave it to Lin Qianan for survivability. The 2 silver chests in his hall went to Gao Lan and Yin Shi as silver skill books. The gold low one was a ghost candle. We reached the central courtyard. Lu Xunyang walked out in the same red bridal gown and red veil as late mother, only with her hair tied up instead of loose. Same rule-bound love at first sight imprint. The same gold low-grade strength. She demanded marriage, but only after I killed all my concubines and let her eat me bite by bite. Late mother slapped her. Sister Jiang used gravity to drag her in, and the ghost binding rope to pin her. Done. We swept 80% of the remaining ghosts on Lin Xuan's recommendation, leaving 20% so the next bride could gestate without too much delay. Total wedding candy haul, 4,000 mental, distributable. Allocation, I took 800 but stopped at 500 when my constitution hit 1012 and my mental hit 3,814, and the imbalance started giving me dizzy spells. Constitution caps how high mental can safely climb. Sister Jiang got 600, her gravity scales on mental for spirits. Late mother got 500 and broke through to gold high-grade quality. Lu Xiaofang got 100 for high-cost potions. Sumeichi got nothing extra. Her bottleneck is the staff's quality, not mental. The remaining roughly 2,300 split evenly across 44 passengers, about 50 each. Back on the bus, Sister Jiang volunteered to drive while educating the bound Lu Xunyang in the passenger seat with telekinesis. Late mother sat alongside enjoying the show. Then I went to handle Lu Xunyang the way I'd once handled late mother. Talked her down, framed her resentment as a misunderstanding. Pointed out that the betrothal gifts were always going to be mine in the end, that the ghost matchmaker was the one who attacked first, that if she truly loved me, she'd believe me over a stranger. The rule-bound love did the rest. She broke and called me husband, sobbing, embarrassed. Sister Jiang and late mother stared at me from the side. Lin Xuan filed the entire technique away with admiration. Late mother briefly worked out that I had probably done the same to her, decided she didn't care. Last thing before sleep, I pulled late mother into her room and asked her about the Ghostmaster organization. She said she didn't know much, only that they cooperated with fierce ghosts at scale, were powerful, and were generally walled off from the player community by survival world rules. Native fierce ghosts and native organizations cannot appear on the highway or interfere with player activities outside of specific stations and supernatural events. So if they wanted to retaliate for the dead ghost matchmaker, they'd have to come at me through those rule-bound channels. And for a low-tier member like that one, going to that trouble wasn't worth it. Most likely they let it go, she added, using the time we had, that there'd be no retaliation in the short term. So now was the time to keep growing.